Okay, so the plane takes off, and I'm so tired, I just pass out. And meanwhile, I have like an orange-sized bump on my behind, so I'm in pain. I'm staying sideways on my seat, and mid-flight, due to pressure, I just hear,
Oh shit!
and I was like, oh no, that's not good. That's not good. And I just stand up, and I remember just, sorry for the listeners, infection and blood mixed down my leg, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is happening, and I'm still cold-blooded for some reason. I don't know why. And I just walk up to my friend who's sitting in the aisle next to me, and she's like, what happened? I was like, oh, my ass exploded. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I go to the bathroom. People are knocking on my door. Meanwhile, there's a puddle of blood in between my legs on the floor. I'm bleeding out. And I'm just going, oh no, this is bad. And they're knocking on the door. Hey, sir, can we use it? And finally I get out, but like I have like a wad of just like tissues on my butt. And I'm like, I'm kind of bleeding out right now. Can you give me like, I went to medical school so I know how to do stitches. I was like, can I get like the medical kit? And she's like, no, we have to ask if there's a doctor on the plane. I was like, okay, do it. And they're like, there's no doctor on the plane. I was like, God damn it.
I'm the doctor on the plane.
I'm the doctor on the I'm like, I'm about to bleed. And they're like, is there anything we can do? I'm just like, give me every tissue you got. So that 3-hour flight, I was only in the bathroom, standing there, just trying to stop myself from bleeding. Finally, they knock on the door. I'm like, what? What do you want? I'm trying to not die here. I'm pale, by the way, at this point. I've lost a lot of blood. They just go, we're landing. And I was like, okay, so, and they're like, you need to sit down. I'm like, I can't, I'm bleeding out. And they're like, we can give you like, what's it called?
A seatbelt
for blanket.
Oh.
And they're like, you can just tie it on your waist. And I was like, all right, fuck it, we ball, let's go. I sat down, bleeding out, by the way, on this plane, and pale white. And my friend's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. The plane lands immediately. The door slams open. Emergency crew, get him. Who is it? I'm like, it's me. They put me on the little stretcher thing. My friend's crying behind me. And I ended up getting like so many stitches.
News, nonsense, and more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to News, Nonsense, and More. Today we have another Meet the Guest. And today our guest, I'll let him introduce himself. Mr.
Hi, I'm Mehmet Barışesi, but you can call me Barry.
That's not usually what I call you. I call you Barrels, I will say. And that'll be my own nickname that I keep forever and always when it comes to Mr. Barry. But yes, Mr. Barrels, we have a lot of questions for you today, a lot of which kind of circulate around. Well, actually, before I get into the questions, let's introduce our other host, which is going to help us out here. I got excited.
Yeah.
I did.
Now I know what Propti feels like. Because I was introduced her late. Thanks, Luis.
No problem.
But no, definitely excited to you talk to you. Luis said a lot of stuff about you, about your traveling journeys. And I'm kind of here for the show, man. I feel like, Luis, you got this going on. And I for a second there, you had that whole news prompter intro. So yes. I like that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen. It'll be coming back for Echoes Part 2. Follow the channel for more.
But yes, go ahead.
Yes. But please, I want to know a little bit more about who Barry is as a person, and let the audience know too. You know, we got to know who we're talking to during this conversation.
Yeah, and you look right into their eyes and by looking at the camera.
Scare them.
So I'm Barry. I'm originally Turkish. My parents are Turkish. I grew up in New York, lived there until I was 12 years old. Then I moved to Istanbul, Turkey, lived there for about 12 years. Went to medical school, dropped out. Went to aeronautical engineering school, actually finished that one, and been traveling for the past 4 years. And my life goal is to visit every single country on Earth. And currently, I've finished 1/3 of the whole entire world.
1/3 of the whole entire world?
Yes, I've been to 73 countries.
Damn.
And that's about to grow by at least 2 more. Here
at least, hopefully.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. There's a lot of things in that intro that are new to me. For the first off, you went to medical school for a bit?
Yeah, I went. So, growing up with immigrant parents, so my parents, God bless them, very smart people. They wanted me to get a very high education. They both have their masters and PhDs and God knows how many different topics. So I was like, okay, I have to look good at the family reunion. So I got accepted into medical school didn't study my first year because, college,
Other things going on.
on. Then my second year, I actually tried studying, and I didn't have a passion for it. I noticed that actually, like, going to college was more of an adventure than I thought it would be, because you learn so many things, meet so many people, and you actually accept what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Because I didn't want to be a doctor. I noticed I have very short tolerance towards idiocracy.
Okay.
Idiocracy, if you will.
People with tiny brains.
With tiny brains, yeah. And I myself think I have an average size brain, at least.
Yeah, the rocket
So,
scientist.
rocket scientist, yeah. That kind of,
Aeronautical engineer, just average size.
My
brain.
title at work is rocket scientist, which is awesome.
Tiny
So,
brain.
tiny
fella.
brain.
Average, guys, average.
Average size brain, but has rocket
186
scientist as-
IQ.
Yeah.
You know.
It's
Rocket-
152. by the
Rocket
way.
science as rocket science as a title, because
So are we doing the average of like Nobel Prize winners?
No,
Like which
no,
average
no,
are you
no.
pulling from?
he's getting
I
nervous.
got 152. That's what I know about my IQ. I got tested when I was I got tested multiple times, but the last time I got tested, I was 152.
And you saw that little bell curve, and you were like on this end, and that was like that's the average.
Yeah, I was like, yes, average brain size. No, I was like. Then when I dropped out, I went to aeronautical engineering school, and I was like, I found my passion. I actually like doing this. It was so much fun. And at the end of the day, that's the only job that I found that was actually like, higher class than being a doctor. At the end of the day.
Okay.
Because
What do you mean by higher class?
I'll explain.
Because a lot of doctors might be like, "What do you mean?"
So there's a joke. They'll say, "Oh, it's not brain surgery. It's not this." But the most common one is, "It's not rocket science." What I'm doing is actual rocket science. At the end of the day, I'm currently doing my master's at UTA.
Okay.
That's where I met. Yeah, that's where I met my good friend Luis, and I'm currently doing my master's in aerospace engineering. Hopefully, almost done. Got one semester left, but God, it took years off my life, my dog. It's difficult.
It's tough, man.
It's tough. And people are talking about like, hey, do you want to do your PhD? And like, I dropped out of medical school for a reason. I do not want to be a doctor. And if I go to like UTA and finish my PhD,
You're a doctor.
I'm a doctor again. And that's the main objective. Like, I didn't want to be a doctor.
So you're telling me that there's never going to be a Dr. Barrels?
No, hopefully not. I'll see you in like 3 years. Maybe. If they convince me and I get paid high enough, maybe I'll do it. But like,
So how's the family reunion now? Since you dropped out of
I'm
now?
still average.
Oh.
Well, I'm still
That's where the average brain
Yeah, I'm
size
still
comes
average.
in.
Well, so average among your family, not among us peons out there.
No, I come from a family of geniuses. You would be surprised. My family is extremely smart. We got a bunch of doctors, lawyers. My father is known for being the smartest one out of the whole family, but yeah, I got a lot of road. I got complete until I reach my father. My father is a super genius. He finished Columbia. So like me going to UTA means nothing to him. He's like
you're a disappointment
yeah.
for going to UTA and being a rocket scientist.
Did you do the Columbia application? It was like, my dad.
My dad said it was a really
is
cool
a legacy.
No, like the other thing with my family is I'm known as the free spirit too in my family, because we're known for being very like hard workers and we study hard, but I have the least amount of patience compared to the rest of my family. My family will work day and night, study day and night. I don't have that. I like having fun. I like throwing off some steam. Man, like my friend Luis too, he's a very hard worker. He might be a chuckle machine. He'll laugh all day, but at the end of the day, he hustles too.
Oh yeah, I know.
And like, I think that's what is important. You got to find a like secret balance in between the two, because like otherwise, dude, it's just hard. It's just mentally draining at the end of the day. Yeah. My hair started falling out when I was 20 years old, my dog. It was just, my hairline just...
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 27.
You're 27?
And I lost my hair when I was 20.
Dang, dude.
I'm 22.
That's so much stress.
Yeah, 2 years of medical school, 4 years of aeronautical engineering, 2 years of aerospace, and I'm bald currently. But it's fine. I'm used to it. It's easier showering.
So if you don't want to lose your hair like me, just do something simple like business, finance.
Exactly. I'm a business major too, and it's working out phenomenally. My dad,
business school. Yes, yes.
That's what happens when you become an aeronautical engineer or go to med school.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: most of my classmates bald as hell.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't. I never noticed that. Did you? Like, I thought all doctors usually had a full flock of hair.
Well, yeah, that's also because they were great at surgery. So, they could just get them a hair treatment.
I'm not the best in my field. If I was the best in my field, I'd have hair still.
Well, you said you were part Turkish, right?
Yeah, I'm Turkish. Both my parents are from Turkey. They lived in Brooklyn, New York, and that's where I was born. I lived in Brooklyn and I lived in Long Island.
Long Island? What part of Long Island? I'm a fellow New Yorker.
Well, for real. I lived in Middle Island, Setauket.
Setauket?
Yeah.
I was in Sunreach
Oh, sorry.
by Stony Brook University.
Yeah, my dad worked there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he
oh,
worked at
shit.
Stony Brook. Yeah.
Small world.
Small world.
That's cool. That's cool.
He worked
man.
at the LRC department. Yeah.
In Stony Brook?
In Stony Brook, yeah.
Oh wow, man. That's like how long ago was that?
Like 14 years ago? 12.
Okay,
that was
still
like
there.
right before we moved back to Turkey. He worked there for about like 7 years, I think.
Okay.
And then we moved to Turkey.
Okay. So it's just like I came to New York in 2001 and I left in 2016 for Texas.
Yeah.
So
Do you like it here?
No.
It's hot, bro.
Yeah, it's hot. But you know what though? It's like I don't have to shovel the heat. In New York, you have to shovel the snow,
Yeah.
especially when you have a long
I'm
driveway.
fine with that. I like Timberland's boots. I like wearing jackets. I like
yeah.
wearing hoodies. Here, I sweat a lot. I'm hairy. It doesn't really work for me, bro. Like, especially
I guess. Summertime is the only time where you don't have to worry about it. But wintertime, the 15 years I lived in New York, shoveling was just like, oh man.
But
like,
there's public transportation in New York. You don't.
but not in Long Island.
Well, yeah, but Long Island people are rich. That's the difference.
We still got to shovel though.
In New York, it's like you can take the metro to any part of the world. But like we live in Arlington. I use Luis.
Hey, we have a train. It goes there. Yeah, it slows down transportation more than enables it. It's there.
It's there. But yeah, dude, that was like probably one of the hardest things because Istanbul runs on public transportation. It really much so does. If like public transportation gets cut off for like 15 minutes, like the whole country's economy just goes down. Really. And like I moved to Arlington and it was just a culture shock for me. Everyone has a car.
Yeah.
Everyone drives everywhere. And like you look at it and you're like, okay, it's like a 20-minute walk. And that's nothing. But there's no road to walk. You're walking on the side of the road.
There's a sidewalk. Yeah.
There's no sidewalk. And like it's incredibly like culture shocking to me. Because
It's like not planned properly.
yeah. And there's not a lot of homeless people. I don't know. They give me comfort. So like I went back to New York and visited family. I see homeless people. I'm like, yes, home.
He sees home within the homeless.
Yeah.
Yes. I guess I know what you mean because over there it's not like they're not homeless because of bad decisions. They're homeless because they have like there's a lot of like veterans.
A lot of soldiers.
A lot of soldiers in New York. One of the things I used to do, especially when I was in, I don't know if you remember Halal Guys when they first came out, 50-46.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, when we used to go there to get that $5 platter and
course.
the Dollar General, it's good times, man, good times. There used to be sleeping around the side of the buildings. I always used to buy an extra couple because, $5 and leave it there, when they're sleeping and stuff like that. I'm not trying to like build, but they're like soldiers because you can tell because they still had the backpack, so yeah, it's, I know what you mean.
Especially the ones in New York, I feel comfort with them because they're like they see so many people, bro. They're not confrontational because if he asks you for money and you don't give it, he knows he's gonna see someone else that day. He's gonna get money one way or another. Of course, you'll see a crash out here and there, but there's so many people. And then I went to Philadelphia like last summer. Whole different story. The homeless people there are very aggressive. They'll knock on your window. They'll start yelling at you. And I don't know what the drug is called. I think it's fentanyl.
Oh,
the one they use. Yeah, the people when they're like all arced and stuff. Like, dude, I saw that in real life. The only other place I've ever seen that was Toronto. But Toronto is just, it's in my opinion, one of the most disappointing places I've ever been.
Why?
Really. Because I went there with so much expectation. Oh, Canada's just safer USA. They're more polite. Total opposite.
What?
It's not safe. Not Toronto, at least. Because Toronto, it's just New York with more drugs.
What?
Yeah. There's people on the street just literally smoking, drinking everywhere. I saw so many people just passed out, and it's cold, my dog. It's -9 degrees, and you have a random guy just sleeping on the side of the road with like shorts, and you're like, I hope he's okay. the cops don't do anything. I saw so many fights break out. My friend got assaulted there. We called the cops. They pulled up like an hour later. They were like, all right, and where's the guy? And we're like, he left. He assaulted us. And he was like, okay. So if you ever see him, just call us back. I was like, what do you mean call us back?
If you see him, yeah, let me call you an hour ahead of when I see him so that you can show
Dude,
me.
I think I might see him in an hour. Yeah. So.
We have a little like what do you call meeting or something like that, right?
Yeah, like they have like poutine was great. That was
one of the questions I was going to ask. Okay, I was like, Toronto could be bad, but
poutine though.
Poutine
was good. Maple syrup, good. Niagara Falls, prettier on the Canadian side. As a New Yorker, I'm gonna be honest.
Okay,
Yeah, I heard that too.
So now we are getting into the controversial territory.
No, but it's true. I've heard even New Yorkers say that when they've gone to Canada and seen Niagara Falls on the Canadian side, it's just better looking.
Now this is ignorant Luis talking. Niagara Falls. How could it look different from different sides? Like, isn't just
it's like this when a girl says.
You're like, okay, maybe a little bit above average brain.
It's like this. You know when the girl likes to pick a side and they're like, this is my good side?
Exactly.
Oh, so you're looking at it from Niagara Falls' good side.
Exactly.
Niagara Falls got a good side.
Good to know.
There's also a cheaper side, so Canada's a little bit more cheaper than.
Really?
You want to hear a funny story? One time we went to Canada.
Okay.
So we decided to go into Canada because when you're a U.S. citizen, you can go back and forth.
Okay, rub it in. Why don't
I'm just saying, privilege.
Yeah.
But so we drive in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see the speed limit. It's like 120, but we didn't realize it was kilometers an hour. My friend was driving; he was doing $120. And I'm like, damn,
yes.
Everybody in Canada is driving so slow. They go way below the speed limit. And I'm like, dude, we go 120 miles. I've never seen 100. I mean, this is not the Newburgh thing. I don't
Honda
know
CRV
about,
only goes 120 miles.
and
Like, that is the...
It was we rented a Buick. And then I'm like, So there has to be something wrong because we're going so fast. I had to wait until like the other one came. And then I was like, dude, you got to slow down. He's like, why? It says 120. It's like kilometers, dude. What does 120 kilometers say on your dashboard? He's like 60 miles an hour. So we were going 60 miles above the speed limit.
Of course.
But it's okay because the cops will take an hour to get you anyway.
You're not getting arrested. You're fine.
No one even stopped us. No one honked at us or anything like that. Well, this is also back in the day. 2002, 2003.
I've also noticed
I wasn't born yet.
Like Toronto is very fair. Toronto is also very similar to New York.
Yeah.
In a sense that like a bunch of skyscraper, giant buildings. It's cold during the wintertime. But I've learned this, Canadian cold is a whole new level.
It's like
scary.
penetrating cold, right?
Oh, dude. Like I was actually in pain. I was like walking into like random like gift shops and stuff and they're like, oh, hello. And I was like, I just gotta heat up for a second. My face hurts.
It was that one scene from Frozen, you know?
My mustache froze, bro. My mustache
like
froze.
the little like particles at the
Yeah, I had like icicles and stuff. It looked funny, but it's just true. It actually,
But it was painful.
It was painful, yes. I had to actually just like pick them out. Just,
In New York, even New York can get cold like that sometimes too.
Yeah.
Especially the wind chill. The wind chill is what gets you.
Oh yeah.
If it's cold, it's okay. You know what? You can manage it. But when it's cold, and then there's a breeze of wind, oh, dude.
Oh, that's how you freeze.
The coldest place I've been was Colorado, and we went for New Year's. So that was negative 32 degrees, which sounds cold, but I was
Can I
like,
get that in Celsius?
Negative 32. Negative 32 Fahrenheit?
Yes, it was like super duper cold because we were literally on a mountain. You
Okay,
know?
yeah, then that makes sense.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
But I went out with like shorts and it was fine. But I think it's because over there it's drier cold.
Yes.
So I couldn't really feel.
It's 0 degrees Celsius, my dog. You said minus? 32?
Yes, negative 32.
Oh, I thought you said 32.
No,
degrees.
32 is not that bad.
Oh, okay. So it's minus 35 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
That's cold.
That's cold.
That's
but
cold.
It wasn't because it was dry. So unless you were like touching metal, you weren't really getting that negative. So the feels like temperature was only like a -2, you know? So, and it was fine. Like but then again, whenever it comes to like more humid places, I know when it gets cold down here, it feels colder than it was up there.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
yes.
You're not used to it though. Your body is not used to
Yeah,
it.
maybe the shock factor.
I don't even say the shock. It was also like the wind. Like, yeah, because over there wasn't windy, which I don't know if it makes sense because it was mountain. So it should be windy.
It should be windy.
Oh, you know what's
Yes.
one of the funniest things? You know when they had the freeze here like a month ago?
Yes.
I wasn't here. I was in Nepal at that time.
So I saw it for the first time. Last winter, I didn't see it. And like, dude, they warned me like 2 weeks in advance. Dude, the freeze is coming. Life's gonna stop.
Yeah.
Apocalypse is here. And I was like, oh man, dude, we're so I was like calling my friends, do you need water? I have water. So I took my shower. I was like, maybe I can't bathe. I don't know. And I was like panicking and stuff. And dude, it snowed. I went for a walk the same morning. And like me and my friend, both of us witnessed it for the first time. I'm like, this is a freeze? Dude, Uber Eats not working. You can't call Uber or anything. I was like, whoa, people are like literally not leaving their house. They're like, it's too dangerous. I'm like, why? You've never seen anything like this? And they're like, dude, it's so dangerous. I'm like, you've
never seen New York.
Never seen
New York because we would drive there. And then, over here, like in Texas, one of the culture shock was when you get that little snow, they'll be like, okay, no work for 2-3 days.
Oh, yeah.
But in New York, you'll have like a 20-inch or 15-inch snow.
You still got to go into work.
We'll tell you if you have to come in. It might be a delayed opening.
Yeah. You'll go to work late or school late. We had that happen to us too.
Yeah.
Like for us to go home early from school, it had to be like, okay, guys, like the roads are closed, which was like maybe
30, 40 inches snow.
maybe. Maybe.
40 inches of snow?
I remember being a kid, it was like up to like my chest of like, and just snow.
It's fun.
That's like more than 3 feet
Yeah.
of just snow.
Of snow.
And that just falls like during the day?
Throughout the whole night.
No, you just wake up in the morning and it's just like, oh, I can't leave my house today.
I can't open the door.
I can't open the door.
What?
He's like, okay, let's wait for the cops to get here, and then some police officer just shovels your
And
driveway.
if you live in Long Island but you're not rich, you just have to be fast.
Which according to Barry doesn't happen. That doesn't-
apparently privileged people.
You have to shovel throughout the night because the snow falls really slowly. It's not like water, right? Where it just like pours. It's you have to wait for like an hour. It piles up. Then you go out there, you shovel, you make a little passageway. You have to kind of plan that out, right? And then you wait for another hour. It like piles up. You push it. Make a pathway. And so by the time when the snow storm ends, at least you can kind of open your door or you can walk out and stuff like that.
And like the salt doesn't like help with that?
Dude, it's 30 inches of snow.
30 inches. What kind of salt are you using?
What do you want me to use? Iodine salt from like Kroger? You think that's going to help?
Charizard, I choose you.
No.
Well, I see in my head the way that the salt worked was like the snow fell, and then since it's salt, it doesn't form there.
No.
Well, if you got
It's only when the base
yeah.
it's frozen, it's to break that.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
it doesn't mean like, no ice here. Then we'll just put salt everywhere.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought. Yes. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So this
Oh,
is Louis
like
learning as well.
snow.
Because you also have to understand that the most I've ever used salt is whenever I lived in Missouri. But other than that, I think we're getting a little too domestic for this international
Oh, yeah.
travel.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Toronto. We've been talking about the U.S.
New York.
Exactly. And then we talked about Philly for a little bit. But you've been to a third of the world.
Yeah, very much
And
so.
you just told me a little bit about how this Central America trip is going to go.
Oh,
and by
yeah.
a little bit, I mean, this guy said, I have 2 flights and then we'll see how it goes. What does that look like when it comes to just getting somewhere and then being like, okay, what's my next step?
So like the situation was that like yesterday I've been working hard in the past few months. I've been really tired, and I remember before I started doing my master's at UTA, I would go to at least one country every month. I would try to go to a new country every single month.
Every single month?
Every single month. My record in 1 year was, I think it was 31 countries.
Was that
31?
whenever you did the Asia trip?
Nope. That
Really?
was before that.
Wow.
Yeah. And the reason for it is just that like it's a mental reset. As soon as I get on that flight and land in a country you have nothing to do about, you don't know the language, you don't know the people. You're like, what's famous here? And they're like this. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And you just let go, because your mind just at that point just resets in a sense where you're just like, oh, life's not actually that bad. Because you see, oh, I'm going through trouble, but this guy's going through trouble, this guy's going through trouble, and this guy, and they're still smiling. I'm like, all right, there's actually like a good reason to actually smile at the end of the day. Everyone finds a reason to. And I noticed that every single country I've gone to, I've find a reason to smile again. And like, with that trip, I had an exam today, right before this podcast, actually.
Which you did amazing on.
Actually, I aced, which is like, oh, God bless him.
Because he's got an average sized brain.
Yeah.
Exactly. His average sized brain came in handy today.
Yeah, I was locked in my house for 4 days, bro. I was not going out. I was not doing anything. Just dual
focus.
monitor, just focusing, studying. And I think it was like today at like 1 a.m., I just had like a snap moment where I was like, I'm gonna look at plane tickets. And I just went on my computer. So I'm kind of smart. I've told you this before.
Yeah.
So on my computer, I wrote a code where if you give a certain destination and a certain return destination, return date, it'll give you the cheapest plane tickets and the cheapest website you can get it from. And I made this myself. So I just put in a random country and I put in a random date, and it's like, okay, you can find a ticket for. So normally if it's on like Google Flights, it's like $250. I've found tickets for like $30 before. I had a round trip to Mexico before for about like, I think it was $60.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hold on a second.
Most of it's tax.
There's so much stuff is going on over here. I have like, first of all,
Now we got 4 different questions we got to answer. We got to start off with.
first one is, what made you want to travel? Like, what sparked that interest?
Ah, yes, the character development.
Yes,
My favorite.
yes. The background, like, storyline.
All right, let's get deep. So I was in a very committed, serious relationship at one point. In a sense where it was like, I was planning on getting married after I graduated from my undergrad. Broke up with the girl a few months before my undergrad, and at that point, I already had my job set before I finished college. I remember talking to my friend. I was like, I have no purpose. And he was like, what do you mean? He's like, you got a job. You're about to graduate college. I'm like, yeah, but I was doing this for her. Like, she wanted me to go to college. She wanted me to graduate. She wanted me to get a job. I was only studying and wanting to earn money to, like, create a home for her, like a place, buy a house, maybe have kids in the future. And as soon as actually, I left her because it was toxic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need a purpose in life. And my friend's like, do something you love. And I remember going home that day and I found this random guy on Instagram, and he was the first Turkish guy to go to every single country on earth, all 197. And I was like, I can do that. And I started counting, and I was like, oh, maybe I can try this. And I remember meeting up with the same friend the next day, and I'm very petty. So my friend said, oh, so did you find a life goal? I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to every single country on earth. And my uncultured friend was like, oh, cool. How many countries are there? I'm like, 197. And he's like, how many have you been to? And I was like, 8. And he said, you have no shot. And something just clicked in me. And I said, I'm going to prove you wrong. And I think that was the year I went to over 30 countries.
That year? Like, when did this conversation happen? Like, January?
Oh, no, not January. I think it was like 2-3 years ago.
No. I mean, like, when did it happen? This conversation happened during that year. Like, how much time did you have during that year?
It was around March. I remember it being March.
What?
Yeah. And something just clicked in me. And after that, every time I found a small little break, it could be from work, it could be a holiday or anything.
I'm just like laughing because he said he's so petty, and he's doing this because
I'm just
someone
petty.
challenged
I am
him
very
that he
petty.
can't do to go to
So
197
Luis knows
countries.
I am very petty.
I was about to say, this surprises me not at all.
I'm like, I was thinking like something
If
like
anything, that made the most sense.
I was thinking like I want to discover culture, need the foods. I'm gonna prove this guy wrong.
I'm very petty. No, like
It's so funny.
No, this was like one of those reels where like the music starts playing in the background with the quote. Like, how many have you been to? 8. And then he was like, you have no shot.
and just a compilation of every country I've been.
And that's whenever I went to 30 different countries.
That is fucking hilarious.
No, it's true though. It's actually true. And he's still my best friend. I love him to death. And every time he sees me go to a new country, he texts me. He's like, you still have a butt fuck ton of countries you have to go to. I'm like,
He's just egging you on at this point in time.
He keeps on messing with me. Like, I did the funniest thing this winter. So my friend got married, this friend I'm talking about.
wow.
And I was his best man at his wedding. Congratulations to him. And right after the wedding, he's like, oh, so what are you going to do? I'm like, oh, I got like 3 countries I have to visit right now. 3 new countries, by the way. And he was like, dude, I'm getting married. I'm like, I don't care. You started this. You started this.
You're blaming him.
Yeah, I blamed him. No, I'm thankful for him though. He gave me a life goal. He actually gave me something that I'm very grateful for right now. And like I said, with the situation, I bought a plane ticket last night and I bought a random return ticket as well, return flight. They're not from the same country. So I'm going to fly to Costa Rica and I'm going to fly back from Guatemala. How I'm going to get from Costa Rica to Guatemala in a span of 12 days, God knows. But I have 5 countries in between them, so I'm going to try to go to every single one, hopefully.
And you don't feel like, because I'm the type of person that I at least need to know what's happening, like, where I'm going to go, at least plan something. But it seems like you have a beginning destination and end destination, and everything in between is like, we'll see how it goes.
No, yeah, he told me that too, and I can see how the free spirit side of the family can kind of work there. Mm-hmm. If it were me, I'd be terrified.
Yeah.
I'm such a planning, detail-oriented, and actually I shouldn't say detail-oriented, because as an accountant, like, everyone's going to be like, no, you're not. Okay, yeah. Relative to other accountants, definitely not. But I'm very a plan-centric and control-oriented person. I like knowing what the next step is and seeing it in my mind's eye. That would be a nightmare for me. The only thing that wouldn't be a nightmare is that it's Costa Rica and Guatemala, so it's going to be delicious.
Oh, yeah, by the way, I can't speak Spanish. A poquito. So I'm just like going to go there and enter hand signals.
So I mean, like, now phones have like translations, like, and stuff like that, right?
I don't go with internet. I don't buy internet packages.
Okay, well, you're just making it harder on yourself.
Wait, so you go there and you make it a point not to even get like technology with you?
Dude, I am dirt cheap. I'll tell you this. When I travel, I'm sleeping at airports. I'm sometimes camping. I've never slept in a hotel. Maybe like 3 out of like 73 countries. I've only slept in like 3 hotels. And that's like out of like I had to sleep in a hotel at that point. Either I had no other accommodation or like there was no other option. It wasn't safe to stay in a hostel or anything.
Okay, so damn, this is like opening up so many questions.
I agree. No, this is an interesting guy.
So you go there, you do these, I guess,
side
quests that you're just staying in hotels or outside or camping and stuff like that. Like, what was it? What's the reason behind it? Like, why not at least like get something, be comfortable while you're doing this? Is my question.
But that makes it so much more fun. Like, have you ever gone on a vacation with your family?
Yeah.
And then you go on a vacation with your friends, and it's like y'all haven't showered for like 3-4 days. Like, y'all have argued so much. You've had a few arguments here and there. You've planned out maybe like 3 different tours. You've gone to none of them because you and your friends couldn't get organized or something like that. Those are the vacations that are so much more fun.
That's true.
The more spontaneous a trip is, in my opinion, the more memories you make. The amount of crazy people I've met on these trips, and I'm telling you, I've met some crazy people, and it's all just spontaneous. I've had people that I've met only once in a random country in buttfuck nowhere, and they just go, hey, if you ever come to my country, text me. And I keep that in mind. And then whenever I go to their country, I'm like, hey, what you doing? And they're like, oh, I remember you. You want to stay at my place? Sure. But I also have the same thing around. So if I ever have a friend visiting from a foreign country that I met, I let them stay at my place too. So it's like a trading situation at the end of the day. I don't really pay for accommodation. Usually if it's a friend from that country as well, I don't really pay for food. But this is going to be one of the few times where I know no one from these countries. And it's fine. I've been to like some difficult countries. Like one of the most difficult ones I went to was India. I went there just, again, to spite a friend. My friend said, are you going to go to India? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go to every single country. He's like, you're never going to go to India. And I remember just like a few weeks later just being like, I'm going to find a way to go to India. And I did. I went to the Taj Mahal. I went to Delhi and everything. And boy, they're living life on hard mode over there. It is not a beginner country at all. Like, the amount of things you got to look out for, it's way too crowded. And like when there's that many people, of course, I can't say it's like a super dangerous country, but you got to look after yourself. There's pickpocketers everywhere. You can't eat everything. You can't drink everything. I think one of the coolest things I saw, there was a guy selling street food. And it was like one of those like Instagram, YouTube videos. Like, oh, the guy's shoving his arm down into the pot and just throwing the food on. And me and my dumb friend were like, we're going to try this. And I remember some guy in line stopping me and just being like, you're not going to eat this. I'm like, yeah, I want to eat it. And he's like, no, I'm a local. I I can barely eat this. You shouldn't eat this. Like, you'll get sick. And I was like, oh, man, are you sure? He's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, then what can I eat? He's like, look in line at any place that has tourists. If there's a tourist in line, you can eat there. If you just see like a bunch of Indian people, you're most likely not going to be able to eat there because they have everything. They have like really gourmet stuff. Like I ate at their Four Seasons hotel. A guide took us there to have like an open buffet food, and it was like one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. But I remember also eating random street food in India and being like, oh my God, like I might actually like get food poisoning from this. Surprisingly enough, I didn't. I drank their tap water and everything.
Damn.
But my friend did get sick. My friend was very terribly ill after our trip. But we came in with that, like, you know, in mind. We were like, yeah, we're probably going to get sick from this trip. But no, India was one of the most difficult ones. Will I go there again? Of course. There's so much, like, different parts of India, like the south, north, middle.
Which part of India? Because India within it.
So I went to Delhi. I went to, like, of course, New Delhi and Old Delhi. I visited both parts. I went to Agra, of course, to see the Taj Mahal, and I went to Jaipur. And it was nice. It was nice. I'll tell you this. I still think that it's one of the most difficult places I've ever been to. But if I was given the option to go there again, oh, in a heartbeat.
When you rank by difficulty, is it like being able to, like you say, you'll sleep in, like you'll camp and you'll at the airport? Is it like that level of difficulty, or is it like transportation difficulty, or is it just like, well, you said it's not really dangerous, but you said there are pickpocketers, people can steal?
So I'll give an example. So when I went there during the summer, and it wasn't really a smart choice of mine.
That's hot, dude.
It was 52 degrees Celsius, which was like, I remember just walking in the street and I was about to puke. It was just that hot. And you just have random guys with flip-flops and jeans on just walking around like it's nothing, not even breaking a sweat. And I'm dying, like literally dying. And one of the funniest things I've ever seen happen, we were in the car. We call an Uber, we get in the car, and the AC, it has 4 levels, and it's on the 3rd level. And we're at a traffic light. And I remember just sitting in the passenger seat being like, man, why is this stuff not on 4? And I flip it. And as soon as I flip it from 3 to 4, the car overheats. The car shut off.
Oh.
And the Uber driver just goes, what are you doing? You turned it back.
Dumb tourist, get out of
here. It was so hot. The car just shut off. And I was like, oh, okay. And like, it's just like simple things like this. We tried to take a shower because, of course, we're sweating all day. And they only had hot water. So it's already 52 degrees outside. And you have boiling water as your only option to take a shower. So I remember my friend took a shower first, and he came out with steam coming out behind him. And I'm like, dude, are you crazy? And he's like, he was on a break of having a breakdown. He was like, they don't have cold water. We were also staying in a very sketchy, like, hole-in-the-wall hotel that had 2 beds in the hotel room, but it was actually just one big bed. So me and my friend had to share the bed at the end of it. But at that point, we were so tired, we didn't really care. But, like, there was a ceiling fan, and like I thought the ceiling fan would cool us off. It was just pressing more hot air down. It was just making it worse.
Yeah, India can be really, it can be really hot, dude. It's really at summertime, man, God.
But the locals, nothing, bro. Nothing.
You know, so many people die there because of the heat. Yeah, and then like the roads also kind of melt.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
Have you not seen videos on YouTube?
No, I'm uncultured apparently.
The tar, it gets so hot, the tar becomes like spongy,
Yeah.
and then you're like they're wearing flip flops, and the flip flops get stuck.
Did you ever?
I've seen those,
have
but
you
like
seen, like the SpongeBob where it's like,
yeah,
that's you walking in the street, literally.
In the main
melting.
road, yeah.
I consider myself a cultured individual in most senses. Of course, when I'm next to Barry, that changes very quickly. And turns out it's a lot more common than expected for people to know things that I just like. Melting roads was not something that I associated with
It's
India.
crazy. It's crazy there, man. It gets really hot. But yeah, go on. Like, yeah.
And like, I'll tell you this, like, another shock to me, it was just like, I also went to Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka's right under India. And I thought they would be similar, like very similar actually. Whole different ball game. Sri Lankan people are not as social as Indian people. Indian people were very much so, they're trying to take videos with me, photos with me. I remember a lady running up to me in India and just being like, take a photo with me. I was like, okay, sure. And like this happened multiple times. I have photos with me and random people in just India because they just wanted a photo. And this lady was like, take a photo of me. I was like, okay. And she's like, pick me up. I was like, sure. And she's like, now kiss me in the photo. I'm like, no.
Wait.
I asked her why. I was like, why do you want me to kiss you? And she's like, I'm going to show my husband. I was like, your husband? She's like, I'm going to make him jealous. I'm like, no, get off.
So a random girl just come to you and pick you just.
Not girl, lady. Like, she's like my mom's age. She's older. She was just like, yeah, pick me up.
Okay,
Sure.
whenever I first heard...
I thought it was like this young, really like...
Oh, no, those happen too. I'm probably on Indian TikTok somewhere. I have like 4 or 5 videos of just me dancing with random Indian people. And
That's actually pretty cool, though. Like,
I agree.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
yeah, but like then you go down to Sri Lanka, total opposite. The tourism in Sri Lanka, it's getting better. I've noticed that. They've told me that as well, the locals as well. But they're not as used to seeing like foreign people. So whenever we went to restaurants and stuff, they would always be like, these guys, all right, we'll go call someone that knows English. And they like, go in the back, find someone who speaks it. India, everyone, immediately, hey, nice to meet you. I'm like, how do you speak so fluent?
Yeah, that won't happen in Nicaragua.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, how are you guys just like this confident in your English? But then you go down to Sri Lanka and they're just like not as confident and also not as social. Like I went to different, like I also like trying different nightlifes. I can't drink. I have several medical issues, but I like seeing the nightlife at the end of the day. Yeah. And I tried it in Sri Lanka and I tried it in India. And I'll tell you this, in India, I was the life of the party. Hey, white guy!
Hey, white
And everyone's picking me up, throwing me in the air, taking videos of me. Like, there was like a cameraman inside a club. This is the first time I've ever seen this. And there's a screen, and I was on the main screen. I was like, oh, that's me, yay! And they're like saying something. Yeah, I don't know what they're saying. I'm just like, yay! I go to Sri Lanka. No one's talking to me. Like, I felt like I was like the runt of the litter. They were like, who called this guy? I was like, oh, man. What did I do wrong?
So that was like a culture shock just from going from India to Sri Lanka
And they're
itself.
right next to each other.
And they're right next to it. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, I've never been to Sri Lanka. I know a couple of Sri Lankan
Oh, they're so
friends.
nice.
They're nice.
So polite.
It's really
they're
chill.
just not as social. They're a lot more like humble. They're a lot more quiet. Like with Indian people, they're like down to learn anything, especially with Western culture. Where are you from? In Sri Lanka, they're like, you look Arab. I'm like, close enough. I'll take it. I try to explain to him I'm Turkish, and he's like, Arab. I'm like, okay. Yep, okay.
Yeah, Turkish.
Turkish, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you told me kind of those same things, then I would consider Sri Lanka more difficult than India. But I guess you're just saying because of the temperature. Like if you were to go to India when it was a cooler temperature, that would make it an easier country to just to be.
It's also, Sri Lanka isn't as crowded either. That's the other thing. Like with India, there was like so many people. I somehow made it on Indian news. There's yeah, it's funny enough. I've been on multiple different news, by the way. I've been on the news on the US, UK, Turkey, I think in Serbia as well. And India.
You were in Serbian news?
Yeah, but the reason why isn't because like, oh, this fellow travel. It's just me just walking up and just being like, hi, can I go on TV? And they're like, sure. And like, I was in India and they found me and they're like pushing me. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get robbed. What's going on? And they just pushed me into a crowd and some guy with a microphone just sticks in and he's like, hello. And I was like, hi. And they're like, welcome to India. I'm like, thank you. They're like, so what do you like? And they started asking me like a few questions and they're very fluent. The same situation happened in Sri Lanka. I saw some guys on news, and I was like, oh, well, what if I try to talk to them? Because they're interviewing, like, locals and stuff. She said no. She immediately just turned to me, and she was like, no. I was like, oh, man. Why? Like, I want to know you guys. I want to talk to you guys.
That's very different, right? Like, you just...
No,
to each other,
absolutely.
it's like-
I mean, whenever it comes to, I'll tell you this, because whenever I did my global management class, that's actually where I met Bradley, which is a mutual friend of ours. And whenever we were going through it, we kind of saw how different cultures react to business, just in the business sense. And when it comes to Latin American countries, we're always the ones that kind of get more familial about it. So you have to go out to dinner with us if we're doing a business deal, because I need to know the person that I'm going into business with. But when it comes to what they kind of said about Asian countries was that they're very, very transactional. Like they don't let their personal lives in their business mix. So exactly. So it doesn't surprise me in that sense. I guess it did when it comes to like how involved you got in India. But
like especially in India, like dude, it was crazy. I remember we got on a plane. So from India, I flew to Kazakhstan, which is like a total opposite.
I know that in Kazakhstan there was quite a few stories there.
Oh yeah, there's a few in Kazakhstan as well.
There we go.
Man, I remember just flying from India to Kazakhstan. So I flew with Air India, which is probably rated the worst airline in the whole entire world.
I heard this story.
And it is probably
Right.
the worst airline I've ever been on.
Yeah.
I've been on better buses before.
Yeah.
And it's not because of I swear, like, dude, it's bad. Like when I got on a plane, like even the flight attendant's like, dude, we don't want to be here. And I was like, me neither. But like it was the cheapest option, so we gotta deal with it at this point. So we got on a plane. I remember there was like these three guys, and they want to sit next to each other on the plane. And the plane is like literally empty, by the way. And they're like,
I guess.
yeah. And the plane's literally empty. And they're like, no, we have to spread you guys out for weight distribution. And the guy doesn't get it. So in flights, aeronautical engineer speaking, you have to distribute weight. So if there's too much on one side, it affects the flight, yada, yada, yada. So he's like, you have to sit here, 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 here. So most of the times when you get randomized seats on planes, it's not usually randomized. The randomized parts are usually everything besides the, what's it called? Emergency exit aisle.
Okay.
Because more like, of course, everyone wants that, and also first class. But you get weight distributed, and they're trying to explain to these guys, hey, you have to sit in your original seats. And they're like, the plane's empty. We just want to sit next to our friends. And she's trying to explain, this is a flight, not a bus. And the guy just didn't understand. And I remember them arguing while we're on the piss about to, like, take off. And she just gave up. She was just like, yeah. And I was like, okay.
Which is so reassuring for you as an aeronautical engineer, being like, so I'm going to die?
At that point, I was so tired. I was like, yeah, I'll be all right. And I remember them just going, like, keep on pressing the flight attendant button. And this lady just runs up, and the flight's about to take off. And she's like, what? And they're like, oh, we want to order food. And she just goes, wait for the plane to take off. And they're like, oh, okay, then. Yeah, sure, we'll wait. And they started taking video of the aisle of the airplane. Nothing changes in the aisle when you take off, but they just want to take a video of it. And I was like, all right, these guys are vibing. They're having a good time. And me and my friend are just watching this, and we're also really tired as well. And we're just like looking at each other not to laugh. You know that moment when you're with your friend? And all of a sudden, as soon as the plane starts taking off, you know those where you put your luggage, the cabinets?
Yeah.
One of them just goes, it just opens up. And me and my friend just start dying laughing because shit starts falling out of it. The flight attendant, she's not allowed to get up. And she's like, oh no. And the three Indian guys are trying to help. They get up. They're trying to pick the stuff up. They're yelling, hey, don't get up. And they're like, stuff is falling out. And me and my friend are just like at the top of our lungs on this empty plane with like 6 people dying laughing. And finally, they're like, okay, whatever. The flight, took off. They close the cabinet. They put everything back. These guys start chatting with each other. And I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep. This is about to be one of the worst flights of my life. And it was all right. I took a quick nap, and she was like, do you want food? And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And she's like, it's gonna be this for this, like this much for this. I'm like, I'm not paying anything.
In the plane?
On the plane, yeah. They offer.
Oh, it was one of those domestic planes, or?
No. It was straight up like, they're like, oh, do you want this? Do you want this? And they asked us, like, do you want to, like, it's this, I think it was like €6 or something, she said. And we're like, no, it's fine. As soon as we get off the plane, we learned that it was free. So she was just trying to hustle us for the food.
Are you fucking...
I swear to God.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
This was an international flight?
Yeah, international flight. And
Yo, what the...
So she committed an international crime.
But, like, I'll tell you this. I wasn't really hungry anyway. And my friend and me just look at each other and we're like, it's not.
I would have thrown hands. If I found out that my food was free and I didn't eat.
That is the first time I've ever heard of anything like that.
Yeah. This is one of, dude, I have so many.
Well, when you travel to 73 countries, it's bound to happen at least once.
No, but like every international flight gives you free food.
No, not everyone. Not everyone.
Really?
Yeah. I paid for headphones before. Do you know that? You know those shitty, like,
Yeah.
headphones? I paid for those before.
Okay, which international flight is that? Because I'll know which one not to take.
I might fly with
Go
them
ahead.
again. I'm not flying with Air India, I can tell you that one. But like,
I flew back in 2011, and I swore to myself at that time, never again.
Air India?
Air Indian. And even the Indian airport, dude. I would never fly from Mumbai or
Note to
Delhi.
self.
Delhi's airport wasn't bad. It was like our gate changed 4 times, which I've never witnessed before. like 4 different gates. I was just running in this airport.
Different terminals too.
Yeah,
I don't know how that.
No, it's not terminal. It's just like gate number 302, and you're just running to 204, and just you run back to 302, and I'm like, dude, can you make?
They're not organized.
No, it's very chaotic, and there's a lot of people, surprisingly.
In India, you're surprised?
No, not the airport. The airport.
Okay.
And the craziest part I think I saw while on the flight too was that like I've never had my plane ticket checked this many times. It got checked from the door, like from check-in all the way when I got on the plane. She was still asking for my ticket. She's like, "We have to check," and they have like a system. And I was like, "Why are they checking like over 10 times?" It was incredible to me. But like I just saw like it wasn't organized enough, and like I get it because if I had that many people in my country, or like even in a city, I would have no idea how to.
Not even that, like the level of like the little mini corruptions, like you said, you nearly she
so
asks
many
you.
times.
They will sometimes even hold on to your password. Oh, you have to check this, check that, and they'll like make you miss your flight if you don't pay.
Yeah.
What?
The worst with this is Egypt. The most corrupt country I've ever been to by far is Egypt. I've been to Egypt twice. I've given it, like, I promised myself the first time I ever went there that I would never go there again. I broke my promise last summer and went there again. And I'm promising you one more time.
You're not going there?
I'm not going to Egypt. Oh, dude, it is.
Well, what made you break your promise?
It was my friend. She was like, hey, I just graduated. We're a group of friends from high school. Like, all of us, we were a close friend group. And we're all going. And you're literally the travel guy. Why don't you come with us? And I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll come with you.
And you didn't tell them, hey, there's better options.
No, I told them. I'm like, hey, let's go to Tunisia. And they're like, what's in Tunisia? I'm like, I don't know. It's better than Egypt, apparently.
Yeah.
They didn't believe me. And no, I remember it was so difficult. Like, every taxi driver is trying to rip you off. There's an announcement in the airports, do not give any the airport workers money because they constantly ask you for money. In the bathrooms, the janitor, he'll be like, tip. The security control, I had a tiny pharaoh statue, right? And the guy stopped me and he's like, you can't take this out of the country. And I was like, what? It's like, I bought it at a souvenir shop. And he was like, yeah, you can't, it classifies as a weapon. And I just turned to him and I'm like, because I'm very cold-blooded in these situations. I just went, oh, okay, sure, you can have it. And the guy just looked at me in the face. He's like, you don't want it? I'm like, no, it's fine, it can stay. And he just goes and does a hand movement to show me like, give me money. And I just look at it, I start laughing out loud. He's like, you want money? No. And the guy was like shocked and he's like, then I'm not gonna give it back. I'm like, that's fine. And as soon as I said it was fine, the announcement goes off again. Do not give any airport workers money. And I just look at the guy and I just go, I start pointing up. And the guy just gets pissed off. He's like, just get out of here. And he just gave me the statue. And I left. This is just one of the few
Did
times.
it classify as a weapon?
No.
Oh.
No, it was, dude, the amount of times in Egypt I've been stopped on the street. I had 3 little kids literally hold onto my legs, beg me for money. And I'm trying to push them off. And at that point, I start like they're literally grappling me, right? I can't walk. So I start pushing them off. And when they don't get off, I start ripping their arms off. Like, get off me.
Oh.
And some random guy rips off and he's like, hey, you're hitting my child. Apparently it was a scheme. The kids hold on, and as soon as you start touching them, the guy's like, hey, you hit my child. I'm going to call the cops on you. And he started asking me for money. And I was like, dude, for real? I'm not going to give you money. I am very stingy. Understand this at this point. Like, multiple times. You'll go to a restaurant. He'll pour you water, and he'll be like, tip. I'm like, dude, let me finish my food. Let me finish my food. Can I at least drink water first?
So whenever you guys say the tipping culture is out of control in America, just remember this isn't Egypt.
No, Egypt is insane. Insane. Like, dude, the amount of times I got in like random arguments with people. So I speak like a very little amount of Arabic, but I can, pass by in Arab countries because I know the main things you got to say. And as soon as I hit them with a little bit of an accent, they're like, oh shit, all right, okay, this guy, he's fine. But if I hit them with my American English, like, the fluent one that I'm speaking right now,
Money.
tourist, money.
Money.
I'm like, how much is it? He's like $17. I'm like, $17? For like a Big Mac, my dog? Like, what are you talking about?
So even in McDonald's, they'll do that kind of shit?
Yeah, they'll try to rip you off. Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny. Like, they're persistent too. Like, they're like, no. I remember I was in a taxi, right? And they're like these old ass cars. We're driving down the street. Yeah, I want to stop. The guy kept on driving. He's like, I gave him 200. He's like, it's 400. I'm like, it's not 400. It says 200 on the app. He's like, okay, I'm just going to keep driving. I'm like, sure. My stubborn ass had in that taxi for 20 more minutes. Finally, this guy was like, all right, you're here. And I got off. Before I even got out of the car, this guy just floored it. I remember just stumbling out like, all right, this guy's gone.
And this is why you travel with a backpack.
Yeah, that's why I don't have luggage. Oh, that's the other thing, too. I don't use luggage. I have one shitty backpack that I take everywhere.
You call it a shitty backpack. That backpack has saved you a lot of trouble in the past.
No lie.
Yeah, exactly.
But I call it shitty because it's been through some stuff. Yeah, that guy's... He's not doing well. I might need to get a new backpack.
My goodness, man, that's insane. As like just one backpack and that's it.
1 month, one backpack. And
How does because I'm for this spring break have a lot of sales competitions that are happening back to back, and I need to know from the expert himself, how does one pack so lightly? Like, what do you think about? Because I saw a little bit
What
of
do you
it
even take?
at Walgreens.
Oh yeah. So I take everything at the minimum.
Okay.
I go like this. So I grew up with immigrant parents, and like when you're an immigrant parents, you live in a foreign country. Sometimes you visit your original country. So when you do, you got to take as much stuff as you can. But because you're immigrants, you're cheap as hell, so you don't want to pay for luggage too. So like I remember all of our family just using like 2 luggages at a time. 4 people, by the way. 4 people, 2 luggages. And my mom would make it work, and I would just look at her and be like, "How are you doing this?" And I remember when I started first traveling, I started asking my mom. I'm like, "Hey, mom, can you help me pack?" And there's like small tactics, like when you're putting your clothes in, if you don't want them creased and you also don't want them to take a lot of
Yes.
just roll them up.
Yeah.
I swear,
yeah.
just roll them up and just squish them, just like tiny hot dogs, and you put them on top of each other.
Tiny hot dogs.
Like my thing too is like, of course the hot dog one.
Tiny hot dogs.
Lewis
Yes.
is
No, I'm
hungry.
taking notes out
Lewis is
here.
hungry.
Yes, tiny hot dog.
And like, I only take one hoodie because in my head I'm like, what am I gonna use 2 hoodies for? I'm not gonna wear them on top of each other. I usually take like one plain color. So it's either black, white, or cream, and you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Because like, you never look obscure in a random country. See, my problem was in the past, I would wear whatever the hell I want. So sometimes I would go with a purple hoodie, but then you're in a random Arab country with a purple hoodie on, and then you stick out like a super dumb. When you have a black hoodie on, everyone's like, oh yeah, he looks like a normal guy. So like, I also I get the amount of days, so I'm like, okay, I have 10 days on this trip. All right, I'll get 5 pairs of underwear every day, one day. On the 5th day, I got to do laundry. So my type of laundry is very different. I'll wash my clothes in a sink. I'll wash my like on the side of the road on a fountain and just hang it up and just wait there. I'm telling you this. If you're gonna go with a bunch of luggage and have clothes for every single day, you're not gonna get shit done. You're not gonna go anywhere. Because I'm so mobile, I'll be like, all right, I'll just change. And I'll just go into a random bathroom at McDonald's and just change and come out just fresh as hell. Immediately. And people are like, yeah, but you're not, like, you can't actually, like, carry stuff with you. I'm like, what do I need? What, like, for example, what do you think you need in your, like, luggage that you can't fit in your backpack?
Shoes.
Dude, why do you need different types of shoes while traveling? You have one pair of sneakers, and that's enough. You just need comfy shoes.
But what if you're, like, going to a nice restaurant?
You're going to wear sneakers. You're backpacking. You're not on vacation. You're backpacking. It's very different things.
Gotcha.
This is like, I want a 5-star filet mignon.
Yeah, no.
Meanwhile, I'm hitting up.
We go to the street
Bro's
vendors.
like freaking like camping and stuff like that, and you're concerned about going to.
I am the worst when it comes to
restaurant
camping.
go eat.
my family took me camping once, and it was the worst experience of my life. And that's so hard to say as a Venezuelan too, because like my family has been through whatever, but I'm unfortunately not that type of guy. Because like very privileged. We went camping in Galveston, which I can't even talk about traveling stories when it comes to this guy on the show.
No,
I mean, like, yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Galveston. Yeah, just
We went to Galveston.
We went to Galveston.
It was a 6-hour tormentuous
that
drive.
was horrible.
Ew, 6 hours? What the hell?
Oh, man.
Dude, like, and the other thing is, I'm not scared to sleep in airports. I've slept in almost every single airport I've ever gone to.
Dang.
Even like a 10-minute nap, I'll just, dude, if you bring like a towel with you, that's your bed. Just put it on the floor, put your backpack.
Wow.
And I'm a very heavy sleeper. So, like, no sound, no...
Deep sleeper.
I put that to the test.
Yeah.
Well, you're different. Funny story. Can I go off topic?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So one day, at the time, I had my girlfriend over, and we're at home, and me and her, and Louis stayed at my place that night. He's like,
Yes.
hey, can I stay over? I'm like, go for it, bro. And me and her are watching a show. We're laying down, and all of a sudden, I just go, wait. I pause the show, and I'm like, something's wrong. I hear something. And she just goes, oh, don't worry, it's Luis. He's in a room over, by the way, snoring. But he's snoring so hard, the wall is moving. I literally hear this. When I'm telling you, this man is a motor and a half. I've never seen anything like this. I've seen people snore, and I've seen Luis. Dude, I had a friend who had to share the living room with him because he also stayed over. Out of how many hours of sleep did you get?
Oh, I got all 8. Yeah.
All 8. Our friend got 2 hours and a half.
Damn.
No, it was brutal. I've never seen anything like this. And it will never leave my mind, just like her just being like, oh, don't worry, it's Luis.
Oh, it's normal. All right.
My favorite was waking up that day. And then just seeing him in the...
Just hoodie.
And it was like, how's your sleep? And he was like, it's fine. It was not fine.
No, he was not fine. He promised me that he's never going to stay over my house again if Luis is sleeping.
It's fair enough.
Fair enough. Which is fair. Which is very fair.
Damn,
no,
Luis.
bro.
Scared him away.
Dude, I heard it through the walls. You know how scary that stuff is? The wall is...
He thought Godzilla was coming after him.
we need to do a study on this. But
Absolutely.
but
could
yeah.
move on from my snoring to other,
Right.
buried travel tips and stuff like that.
Childhood.
But other than that, I know that you specifically asked for me to ask this question because apparently it was like the super best story ever. Sir, have you ever gotten injured on any of these trips?
Oh, multiple times.
Okay.
So there's something called travel insurance where you can, when you leave the country, you'll have travel insurance. And if anything happens, you come back and you get your money back. I never do that.
Yeah, as we've learned, you are a stingy traveler.
Yeah, but it's more fun that way.
Okay.
But this one time, right 2 days before my trip hit, I had an ingrown hair, and it was on my behind. And I was like, I'll be fine. Because, of course, I would think that I'd be fine. And during our trip, I went to Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan. And while in Uzbekistan, my friend that came with me, we went out one night and turns to me and just knees me by accidentally while giving me a hug at night. And she's, I found you. And I felt the knee, and I was like, oh, no. Because it was like a straight-on hit on the ingrown hair, and that hurt, right? And I was like, all right, I'll be fine. And in the span of 3 days, my behind just started increasing in size. so I had...
we got Big Booty Barry.
Exactly. And
That's one way to get a BBL.
There you go.
at that point, in my head, I'm like, all right, if I can make it back, because healthcare is free in Turkey.
Yeah.
Right? And I was like, all right, if I can make it back home to Turkey, I can get this sorted out. Finally get on my flight. I'm flying back home to Turkey. I'm chilling. As soon as I get off this flight.
One second.
Sorry.
Bring the mic over here.
Yeah,
Okay. Go ahead.
As soon as I get off my flight, I'm going to be fine. Okay, so the plane takes off, and I'm so tired, I just pass out. And meanwhile, I have like an orange-sized bump on my behind. So I'm in pain. I'm staying sideways on my seat.
Mm-hmm.
And mid-flight, due to pressure, I just hear...
Oh, shit.
And I was like, oh no, that's not good. That's not good. And I just stand up. And I remember just, sorry for the listeners, infection and blood mixed down my leg. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is happening. And I'm still cold-blooded for some reason. I don't know why. And I just walk up to my friend who's sitting in the aisle next to me. And she's like, what happened? I was like, oh, my ass exploded. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I go to the bathroom. People are knocking on my door. Meanwhile, there's a puddle of blood in between my legs on the floor. I'm bleeding out. And I'm just going, oh no, this is bad. And they're knocking on the door. Hey, sir, can we use it? And finally I get out, but like I have like a wad of just like tissues on my butt. And I'm like, I'm kind of bleeding out right now. Can you give me like, I went to medical school for so I know how to do stitches. I was like, can I get like the medical kit? And she's like, no, we have to ask if there's a doctor on the plane. I was like, okay, do it. And they're like, there's no doctor on the plane. I was like, God damn it.
I'm the doctor on the plane.
I'm the doctor on the I'm like, I'm about to bleed. And they're like, is there anything we can do? I'm just like, give me every tissue you got. So that 3-hour flight, I was only in the bathroom, standing there, just trying to stop myself from bleeding. Finally, they knock on the door. I'm like, what? What do you want? I'm trying to not die here. I'm pale, by the way, at this point. I've lost a lot of blood. They just go, we're landing. And I was like, okay, so, and they're like, you need to sit down. I'm like, I can't, I'm bleeding out. And they're like, we can give you like, what's it called?
A seatbelt
a
for
blanket.
Oh.
And they're like, you can just tie it on your waist. And I was like, hey, fuck it, we ball, let's go. I sat down, bleeding out, by the way, on this plane, and pale white. And my friend's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. The plane lands immediately. The door slams open. Emergency crew, get him. Who is it? I'm like, it's me. They put me on the little stretcher thing. My friend's crying behind me. And I ended up getting like so many stitches. I remember like, and the doctor told me, they're like, how long have you had this cyst? I was like, 3 days? 3 days? And they're like, you never thought of going to the hospital? I was like, I thought I'd be fine. And I remember at one point, like after they put the stitches on, they're like, hey, so you need to get blood. We need to give you some blood. And I just go, yeah, can I go home and shower first? I'm kind of like, I smell like blood. But like I had white shorts on. I was like, I look like I had my period, bro. I don't look good right now. And he's like, how far do you live? I'm like, I'm about like 30 minutes away. And you'll never get this in any other country. The guy just goes, yeah, sure, just remember to come back. I was like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Remember to come
I never went back.
What?
I just took a shower and fell asleep on my couch because I was so tired. Never got my blood, and I didn't die. I remember my friend just calling me like, are you okay? Are you fine? I was like, yeah, I'm fine.
When you said this was a funny story.
You're laughing this whole, you're right, Red.
Yeah,
No,
fair
but,
enough.
but the thing is, like, the ingrown hair turned into cyst, and then, like, it just, like...
It got infected. So when she kneed me, it got infected, and it just grew. And it turned into, like, the size of an orange. I later on got that cyst removed. I didn't get it removed then, but later on I got it removed. Oh, it was one of the most painful things. Have you had local anesthetics before? That stuff hurt.
Just you got an ingrown hair as you were coming into this country, and then you got a hug which ended in a knee, which landed on said ingrown hair. Yep. Ingrown hair decided, you know what, time to level up, evolve as your Pokemon do.
As a Pokemon, it did evolve into
exactly
an infection.
And you were fine for 3 days. 3 days went by.
Yeah, I toughed it out.
Exactly. You know, you just didn't sit down properly, and people were questioning your life choices. But other than that, you were fine. And then the plane destroyed your life career. And
like my friends always tell us about me too. Like I'm very known for just going on a trip, being amazing the whole trip, healthy as hell. As soon as I get home from a trip, I'm sick for a week.
Every time?
Every time. Because mentally wise, I'm like, when I'm on this trip, I'm like, I can't get sick.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't plan, most of the time, I don't plan on coming to that country ever again. So I'm like, I'm probably never going to come here again. So
Unless
I can't waste my time just being sick. So I usually just mentally toughen out. I'm like, I'm not sick. I'm not sick. And as soon as that plane lands back home, oh, I'm done. Where's Barry? He's at home for at least a week. He's nonverbal. No, he's just laying down at home.
That's crazy. That first of all, I think it's the pressure, right? The pressure of the plane.
Yeah.
That's probably what did it. But man, like that whole like.
The funniest part is my friend's a flight attendant, so I asked him. So they're supposed to do an emergency landing in situations like that. They didn't. But like at the time, my friend's like, you can sue the company and stuff like that. But also like I'm like, I might use them again, so because it's a good airline. So if I sue them, I might be shooting myself in the leg. So I never went.
Why? If you sue them, you can't use them again? Like
no, you can, but like I don't want to have bad blood with a flight.
I mean,
airline,
it's not with the people that work there. It's just the company. So it's not like they're gonna be like, now we have this plane. This is making spin around.
They're gonna have a little like black thing on your your passport that's like, okay, so this guy, we got to give him the shittiest service we got.
Yeah, no, because like at the end of the day, they might. Like, what if it goes on the news or something? Or what if it becomes famous? Well, yeah, of course. Tell it to the podcast.
Famous Turkish world traveler's butt exploded.
I never said the airline, though. Never said the airline. There's like 4 airlines it could be, but that's fine.
Air India.
Yeah, I'm never getting sponsored by them. I can tell you that one.
That's
I don't think anybody. I've seen a lot of like travel videos, and like each and every one of them, they say the worst airlines.
No, by far. I've been on some bad ones. Like there's this Spanish one that I went on, Iberia. That one was pretty bad.
Iberia is pretty okay. The international one from the New York. I went from New York when I was going to Nepal once. I went through Madrid.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Their domestic flights are known for being worse.
Okay, maybe.
And I was on one of their domestic flights, and oh boy, it was bad. American Airlines, surprisingly, one of the worst ones I've ever been on. Instead of sending my luggage to Istanbul, they sent it to, I think, where was it? I think it was Lisbon, yeah. No, instead of London, they sent it to Lisbon, which I have no clue how they did that. So I arrive in Istanbul with no luggage. And I'm like, where's my luggage? And they're like, oh, apparently it went to Lisbon. I'm like, how did it go to Lisbon? They're like, yeah.
London, Lisbon. You know.
They both started with an L, and the American airline worker was like,
close enough.
There we go.
Yeah.
And no, the service with them are horrible too.
Yeah.
They are very uncultured. I've told them many times, look, I have a transfer flight from London Airport, right? I think it was, I forgot which one it was, but Stansted. And I have a transfer. And I know this airport. I've transferred there many times. And our flight got delayed by like 2.5 hours. And I'm like, I'm not making the other flight. And they just tell me, sir, we guarantee that you're going to. I'm like, you can't guarantee me anything. And I get on the plane. We get on the runway. It stops again. The flight stops again. They're like, oh, something's wrong with the heaters. So like, you know how we get food on a plane?
Yeah.
They're like, if we take off, we're not going to have like warm food. And everyone's like, okay. I'm like, I'm missing my flight. Finally, I get off. And I was like, oh. I missed my flight, of course. And I was like, oh, you guys guaranteed that I was going to... And they're like, sir, we don't guarantee anything. I was like, but in America, they said they guaranteed I was going to make it. They're like, sir, we can't guarantee anything with flights. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, can I get a refund? No. Can I get anything like a meal voucher or anything? Nope. And I remember just telling them, like, you guys are the... And by the way, it was again them. And they rescheduled me to another flight, which was like, I think like a day later. And I was like, well, no, I have to go today. That was when I was going to the wedding. I was like, I'm trying to go to a wedding. And they're like, sir, we can't do anything about that. I was like, what do you mean? And I had to just buy a random new ticket to make my friend's wedding.
Wow.
Sadly.
U.S. Airways.
Yeah. American Airlines. America's finest.
Turkish Airways is good.
Turkish Airlines.
Oh, they're good.
They're a privileged airline.
I love Turkish Airways. That's one of the biggest. I always use Turkish Airways when I used to when I used to live in New York.
I'm seeing a lot more ads for them, like out of nowhere, and it might be
Because
just
it
because of
just
you.
recently-
It might be just me.
No, it's because they recently came to Dallas, Texas. They recently finally are slowly coming to Dallas, Texas, like more flights. But majority of them used to fly out of New York. That was my go-to flight, dude.
Yeah.
Cheap,
Really?
good quality. The airport's awesome.
So soon enough, you won't have to transfer in order to go home.
No, see, so my family lives in Istanbul. So usually when people transfer anywhere, they use Istanbul airport. There's like 3 main hotspot hubs in the world. It's Qatar, Dubai, and Istanbul.
I thought like Heathrow Airport was also one of them. Right? One of the busiest.
They're one of them. But I mean, like, it connects 3 continents. That's what I mean by like me being a main hub. They're right between Africa, Europe, and Asia, right? So when you have that, and Turkish Airlines flies to the most destinations in the whole entire world. Most,
Really?
Yes, most different
Even Nepal,
destinations.
directly Nepal.
So
too.
it's in your blood to travel the world.
Very much so. I was born to apparently do this. If Turkish Airlines sponsor me, please. I've been trying for years. They're not. Dude, the amount of people that want to get sponsored by them, crazy. Because they fly everywhere.
Yep.
Every person I've ever talked to, especially African people. One of my closest friends, Caleb, he's Ethiopian. And he's like, yeah, I've taken Turkish Airlines before. I'm like, how? And he's like, I transferred to Istanbul. So instead of flying from like, France and here and there, he just flies from here all the way to Istanbul, direct flight. And then from there, he just flies to Ethiopia.
Same thing. Even with Nepal, I fly this time around. I flew from like 1 January when I left, DFW to Istanbul to Nepal.
Yeah.
It was the layover was very, very long in Istanbul while coming back, but I did get a hotel.
But now you
Yeah, see, that's the other thing
They're
with
awesome.
Turkish Airlines. If you ever get a layover or your flight gets delayed or canceled, if your flight gets canceled like by over like a day, they'll give you a free day tour in Istanbul for free.
What?
Yeah. Or you can just go to your hotel. They'll book you a hotel. And that is like right next to the airport.
They'll book you a hotel?
Yeah.
And there's a hotel inside Istanbul too, which is really, really nice.
Oh, no, it's bougie. It's bougie. Like I
Like,
can't
it
afford
is
it type
nice.
stuff.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Like it's not that expensive too. Like
No,
it's
no, it's
pretty
not.
decent for like in hotel. I mean, for a hotel in the airport, it's not like bad. It's like you get your TV, shower, everything. I was like that day I had 20-hour layover.
Yeah.
I chilled, man.
You just got your spa treatment, your little robe, got the cucumbers on the...
Not that crazy, not that crazy, but I gotta take a shower. That's I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's important.
That's very
See, that's probably like the most difficult part. That's one of the reasons I like some of the European airports and airports in Arab countries as well, because they some of them have showers and you can actually just pay to use them. And sometimes I've like I've taken like 5 different transfers before just to go to one certain country from another spot.
Damn.
And dude, you smell. You've been on a flight for so long, and like even if you don't smell, you don't feel clean.
Yeah.
because it's been like hours, and
You feel
you're-
grimy.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like 20 euros. I'll pay 20 euros to take a shower right now, and you're like
So I have a question. So I kind of want to go into that app you created, right? About that the code that you wrote
oh
for
yeah,
yourself.
my
right?
code.
Yeah. So how how does it work?
Mhm.
And is it only something that you use it for yourself?
Yes. Well, the
Are we
situation-
putting a link in the description?
No, we are not putting a link in the description. I use it for close friends and family who ask me for it. If they give me certain dates and a destination, I will find them the cheapest flights. But it goes through over like 300 different websites, and it compares every single price of the flight. And it tells me, hey, the cheapest flight currently is on this website at this time. And I'm like, all right, I'll take it. Like one of the craziest ones I ever saw, it was like $190 flight that was just for like, I think it was like $70, which was like insane to me. And I was like, wait, this is possible?
Wait, what? Okay, so give me a destination. So that because there has to be a shock factor in it too, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's say for example, if I wanted to go to Nepal, let's say randomly, I'm like, hey Barry, give me the cheapest flight to Nepal, like
So
like what is the discrepancy with that? Like,
So it works kind of like this. So you'll tell me a certain date and a return date or just a one-way flight, and you'll give me the 2 destinations, the departing destination and the arriving destination. And I'll put them both inside my code, and it'll go through the 300 websites, and it'll tell me, hey, for this, I found some random flights. I flew with like Air Mongolia and stuff like that randomly. I found this flight on no other website besides this one. Randomly, Air Mongolia is like, hey, we have the cheapest flight for like
Air
six-
Mongolia? There's an Air Mongolia?
There's an Air Everything. You'd be surprised.
I am surprised.
Yeah,
Air Mongolia.
there's an Air Everything. Air Oman, Air Kuwait. There's Air Everything.
Is there an Air Taiwan?
There probably is.
Oh, there we go.
There probably is. There probably is.
So every country invests in airlines. Even Nepal has its own.
I know Nepal has it.
So
I've never
everybody
heard of,
does
I've
the
never
same
heard of
thing.
Air Mongolia.
Nepal
Yeah, there
Air.
is. Air Mongolia is popular.
Okay, well, here's my question: is it actually air? Like, is it the word air? Because like the word air changes from country to
They
country.
either use Airways or Airlines. It's Turkish Airlines. So
like even if you're speaking in Turkish, you call
no,
it.
we say the
think-
Turkish version of it, but like internationally, we say Turkish Airlines,
Okay.
and it's known as Turkish Airlines as well. Like when people ask you, you never say the Turkish name. You always go with the international name first.
So your code, sorry to get back to it. So it's mostly like one-way trips. That kind of like is that how it works? I'm
I
just
can do
curious.
return flights as well.
So with this, so the whole thing, it just wow, that's
As a
crazy.
round trip, yeah, I can find it.
Dang.
I did this in my free time out of just boredom. I was just tired of going to every single website.
This is what average intelligence looks like, by the way. Yeah.
You
In
just
case you
decide
couldn't
to
tell.
write a code to
go to.
Could be
go to
$1 billion
different
app,
countries.
yeah,
could
but
be. But he just gives this for his friends and family.
yeah.
But like, how am I supposed to see if the more people I give this to, the more flights get expensive? Think about it that way. So I'm actually using this for my benefit.
Absolutely. So you're an evil villain, is what I'm hearing. Yeah.
I have all the cheap tickets for myself.
Well, my brain immediately just going into the business world goes to there's so many websites that promise the same thing. Like, and the most recent one that I saw was like Trivago. Trivago's like, we'll give you the cheapest hotel. And it's like, no, you won't. Like, I'll go on Google and I'll find a cheaper one than Trivago.
and not even that, like not even the websites also has storage of cash. So I always have to go incognito, which I don't even think that's really true. But then back in the day, I used to use Skyscanner. Skyscanner
Oh, so
is-
Skyscanner is actually decent.
It's pretty
surprisingly,
decent, yeah.
it's pretty decent.
It's, yeah,
surprisingly.
I've got some. I remember like when the Nepal earthquake happened. I'd come over there. I paid $550 for a round trip from New York to Nepal, and it's usually like it's a really long flight. It usually from New York goes for like $700-800, $900.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a cheap flight. There's a cheap
Yeah.
flight. I think the cheapest one that I've done recently was when I flew back home to Turkey. I took like 4 transfers, but I had like a round trip for like $240 from Texas, by the way.
$240 fucking dollars
Yeah.
To go to
to go to Turkey and come back.
Yeah.
Dude, that is insane.
Yeah.
I thought I got a deal when I went to Nepal just recently. I paid $980.
$240.
What the
Yeah,
heck?
yeah.
Dude. All right, you know what? Great, you brought him here, Louis.
Yeah,
I know
business.
who I can get my plane tickets, travel tickets.
No,
And if you guys want some plane tickets too, I get a 50% commission.
add me on Bears Travels Instagram.
Yeah, just you guys want this cool travel tips. Well, you just have to follow him and maybe.
So
you'll be
first,
able-
tiny hot dogs, right? And then
yeah, and that's how it goes. And make sure in order for him to help you, you have to follow our channel as well.
Yes, also follow them as well.
absolutely.
Follow the amigos.
Yeah, but that's actually very interesting. Again, like coding it for yourself, and I get the whole like you doing it for yourself and close friends and family, keeping it cheap. But $250, dude, that's
insane.
unheard of prices.
That's literally
domestic
less-
flights aren't even that much anymore.
That is less than what I'm paying to go to Chicago next week.
Yeah, like I said, dude, I've had some very surprisingly
So,
cheap flights.
what about domestic flights within the U.S.? Does it work for that too?
I just need 2 destinations. And it just goes through every
Damn.
single website. I don't.
Lewis is like, I want to travel all 50 states.
I mean, I told you this guy was world renowned. Now you're
no,
starting
no,
to
no.
see.
I mean, like, no, man. I mean, like, you should literally put, like, make a YouTube channel of you traveling and doing all this stuff. Like, the potential, like, content you could just, like, be putting out
Dude,
there.
the amount of crazy stuff I saw and the amount of stuff that if I filmed, I would have been probably a millionaire by now. I've seen some original stuff, my dog. I attended one of my favorite ones. I attended a wedding in Morocco by accident. And
What?
Yeah,
By
by accident. I just walked inside a restaurant because I thought it was famous. I saw on the internet. My friend was like, "Oh, you should definitely go here." And I look on the internet. I was like, "All right, it's like 4.8 stars. Just like looks good." And apparently that day it was rented out for a wedding, and I didn't know. So I just sat down and started having some wedding food by accidentally with my backpack, by the
He
way.
crashed a wedding.
Yeah, I just pull up and I just see a bride and a groom, and I was like, "Oh no, I shouldn't be here." There's a reason why the waiters didn't take my order and just gave me food. And I remember at one point people realized, like, there's just a random guy with a
Well, yeah, because there's a guy with sneakers. He didn't pack any.
shorts and a baseball hat just sitting there, and
Exactly.
they're like, "Oh no, who's this guy?" And I was like, I'm sorry, I came here by accident. I can leave if you want." And they're like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "I'm from Turkey." And they're like, "Oh shit, do you want to dance with us?" I was like, I have 2 left feet, but I'll do it." And I just ended up starting partying with them. And I remember at the end of the night when they told us the wedding, like, they're closing, like, it's over, the wedding's done. And so I got disappointed with them. I was like, "Oh, come!" I had a random tie on my head. It wasn't even my tie. I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to go home." I still follow some of the guys. They messaged me from. They're like, "Come back to Morocco." I was like, "I'll try, brother. I'll try."
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
See, what is the craziest thing that you've seen? Like something crazy, like holy shit, I will not come back here again. Kind of like
Ooh,
story.
like never come back here.
Like
again.
you saw that and it was like, all right, I'm not gonna visit this country ever again. Crazy.
There's different types of scary. There's like racism type of scary that I've seen.
Racism?
Yes, I've experienced. When you go to 73 countries, there's a point where people don't start liking
Yeah, no,
you.
yeah.
You're like, this part of the world doesn't.
Have
really
you ever
like
had to
me."
identify as a different race in order to get?
Oh, so many times. I've lied so many times. I've been Hispanic all the way down to like I'm Dominican, and there people are like, "Really?"
You said the same thing twice.
No, I mean like Dominican.
I'm pretty sure if you say Dominican, they'll be like,
No, dude, I've
Dominican
passed
Bobby, there you go. Yeah.
by. Cuban. I've tried that one before.
Yeah, don't
I've
do
tried-
that in Costa Rica. They'll start speaking fast Spanish to you. and
Oh
you'll
no,
be-
I can't
yeah.
catch up. No, I've tried. I usually go and do it in random countries. So if I'm in a Slavic country, I usually say I'm from a Spanish country because it's the total opposite, and they don't know Spanish. So I'm like, yes. But if I'm in a Spanish country, I usually don't tell them I'm from Turkey because 95% of the time, especially in like middle of nowhere random countries, they don't know Turkey.
yeah.
Which is kind of sad. I wish my country was a little bit more well known. Well, the European ones, of course, know us. But like I remember in Mexico, I had like to tell them multiple times, "Turco, el Turco," and they're like, "Turco, Turco." They're like, "Wow, like what are you doing here?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm surprised too." But like I've seen so much different types of racism. I've seen positive racism, where like
What does this
Positive
mean? Yeah.
like
It's not really racism if it's positive, but go ahead,
Ah,
explain.
it's like in a sense where it's like, mustache man, do you want kebab? I'm like, okay. I do want a kebab, but don't call me mustache
Yeah,
man.
it's, like,
okay?
it's like, oh, I know exactly what you like to eat.
You're not wrong, but I don't like it.
Can have a tea on the side as well. Yeah, they do that a lot.
Or the
but-
Turkish coffee, the way, and
Yeah. Dude, I'll kill for it, bro. I
Yeah.
love it that much.
I asked him that the other day because he's not my only Turkish friend. I have one more Turkish friend that I go to.
Shout out Amir.
Exactly. I love Amir. He was texting me earlier. But I asked them, I was like, have you guys ever had Turkish ice cream? And they're like, dude, every single day. And I was like, okay.
Yeah,
Have you call me that much of an idiot?
You should experience the guy who tries to give you the Turkish ice cream.
Oh, the cling
The clang, and he's like, oh, like, you know, the
Yeah,
whole like
the whole shtick.
the whole shtick.
stuff.
Yeah. No, that's what I was seeing. And I was like,
You should take Luis to one if there's one, because you'll get really mad.
I don't know if they
feel
have
like.
it in Texas.
Oh, I'll crash
research it.
out.
He's like, I want my freaking ice cream.
No, dude. Luis is the type to like crash the guy.
You're giving me this ice cream. You're gonna like it.
But no, I mean, okay, so positive racism. What about something in the more like
Negative context?
not negative, more like dangerous context?
Oh, dangerous context. Ooh, I went to Lebanon. So I don't know if y'all know, but the Middle East isn't really doing well lately. And
Oh,
it
you don't
hasn't-
say.
And it hasn't been doing well for the past.
I haven't checked Twitter in like 3 days.
100 years. They
Yeah.
haven't been doing good, and like constantly they're
Pretty
being
much.
attacked. And it was like 2 years after the major explosion in Beirut, where Israel had. Well, they say it's Israel, but the locals on their mamas like swear that it was Israel who caused the explosion. But if you ask everyone else in the rest of the world, they do not admit it, and they're like, oh, it's just like a random situation.
Random explosions. Just
Yeah,
happening
just
out of nowhere.
random explosion that killed hundreds of people, and there's still so many people missing from it. And like 2 years after that, I went to Lebanon. I found a very cheap ticket from Istanbul, and I convinced 3 of my other idiotic friends, and we went to Lebanon. And when I'm telling you, like, the internet would cut out, like electricity would cut out randomly during the day, and all of their nightclubs, not all of them, but like a majority of them, are in bomb shelters. So,
What?
which means if anything goes down, anything happens, they're not gonna get hurt. You'd be surprised the amount of nightclubs that are in bomb shelters in Lebanon. And by the way, top 5 best nightlifes in the world is in Beirut. It is incredibly fun. They are the type of Arabs that drink and smoke and do everything, because there's the Christian community of them, which is like, because in Islam, like most Arab countries, you can't like even bring alcohol into the country. But in Beirut, they have their own wine and everything, and man, do they party. And they, like, when I say they're partying like there's no tomorrow, I mean, like, yeah, very much so. But I remember us leaving the country, like, with my friends, and like 2 days later, they just got bombed again in Beirut. It was like I think it was like a random hotel or something. They were trying to hit someone important, like, I think politically wise, but like a random just bombing happened. And my friend was like, that was like, we were there 2 days ago. I was like, yeah. And God knows, maybe something would have happened to me. Same thing happened in Kosovo. The immediate, like, as soon as our flight left and landed back in Istanbul, we went on the news, and yeah, there was like, oh, Serbia is trying to invade Kosovo right now. All flights are canceled. I was like, oh, I could have been stuck in Kosovo. And
I've never even heard of something like that happening. Like, you don't even hear about those kind of news. Like,
yeah, well, I have a lot of international friends too. So like with the Nepal situation where like everything broke down, and like thankfully social media has grown where like we can learn about different cultures more easily now, but like it's still hard to reach certain places. Like currently in Iran, we have like probably like 1% of what's going down over there because the internet's cut off, Instagram's cut off. But I have a lot of foreign friends, and when something happens in a foreign country, I always try to reach out to them. I'm like, hey, what's going on, this and that, and that includes Lebanon, Kosovo as well, and Iran as well. I've messaged so many friends. I was like, hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? Is anyone hurt? Like, what do you think about the situation? And I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of mixed opinions about the Iran situation. It's not just like people being, oh, yay, like our dictator is dead. There's like a big community who's like, oh, death to America. And I was like, boy.
yeah, I mean, that's one thing, right? When the news kind of like hits us, it's always like this, okay, we're going to tell our people this. But there is, I mean, you have a country of 90 million people. If they wanted to be a revolution, there would have been a revolution a long time ago. I mean, how can you like control 90 million people, right? Common sense stuff. But a lot of people like thought like, they would overthrow the government. And not even that, I also heard like recently, I know we're getting into politics a little bit, but even the left-leaning people were targeted. And we were talking about this the other day, right? So I guess like for you, you're when you look at news, right? From, let's say, on TV or whatever you're seeing on social media, which is kind of like controlled by like our media, right? And then when you talk to your friends, does that how do you like how do you decipher that then? Like, how do you like try to understand it?
I trust the local people more than anything. I've noticed it in every single country. You can go anywhere in the world, and like people will tell you, like I've been told about some countries, dude, this country is very dangerous. You should not be there. This and that, and it being safer than any average European country. I've heard so many times like them, but it changes with media. I'll tell you this: every single friend of mine back home, they're like, "How's Texas? Is it dangerous? Everyone has a gun." I'm like, well, yes, you can have a gun. It's legal, but that doesn't mean we're all just like cowboys, like slinging, bang, bang, shooting at each other.
That's only Amarillo.
But they actually believe that. They're like, oh, but on the news, there's shootings everywhere. Well, I'm like, yeah, but...
Well, they're not wrong.
They're not wrong, but U.S. is also the size of Europe at the end of the day. So like, and like, if you have that much mass, it's the same thing what I talked about India. Like, especially, I hate it when people give hate to like very big countries. They do it to India and Pakistan a lot, and sometimes Bangladesh as well. They're talking so much bad stuff about. They're like, oh, this and that. I'm like, dude. They're like, dude, there's a guy peeing in the street. I'm like, you can find that in Fort Worth. Like, it's not that hard. Like, the more mass of people you have, the more crazier stuff you're more likely to see.
Yeah.
And like, getting back to the topic, we were talking about like how, like when you go to a foreign country, like the local people know way better than like what the news know, because they always tell you, oh, dude, it's not like that. It's like this. It's like that. It's like this. It's like that. Oh, I talked to some guy. I was like, what do you think about this politician? Like the world loves him. I'm not going to say which country it was. And he just goes, oh, him? He's gay. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? I'm like, what does this have to do about him being a politician?
I was just trying to ask you for his policy, but thank you.
But yeah, exactly. And I was like, what does that have to do with anything? And apparently he's like an extremely religious guy. And due to him being extremely religious, like in his politics, he's like, deaf to gay people, this and that. We don't want them in our country. They're mentally ill. Turns out, secretly, he's actually gay. And it later on was confirmed, I think. I'm still not sure, but like, towards the world, he's still like, yes, deaf to gay people.
That is so insane. Like, how do you get to that? Like, they must be really good at hiding stuff.
Oh, dude, people are incredible.
It's insane. Imagine like being that and then like hating on the same community that you're from to
Just
put your
power.
career. It's
Just power.
crazy.
That's when you got to
How
really...
hungry could you be for power, right?
Power is a very addictive thing. It's very addictive. Think about this in like, I'll give an example from a video game. When you're too good at a video game and you start like beating your friends, at first you're like, yes, I'm beating my friends. But after a while, you're like, ooh, I want to beat up more people. I want to be better than everyone. And it's the same thing with power. Like the more power you gain in life, you're like, yes, how much more can I get? How much more dominance can I have over everyone else? So it's, and especially in politics too, people are just like, ooh, yes, how much more can I get?
Okay, in Turkey, they say Erdogan, right? Like they always over here, they always view him as someone like, oh, he's this and that, negatively. They always try to push him negatively, right? But when I go to Turkey, it's so peaceful. It's so much nicer. Like people don't really have that much like. I feel like it's at least like what I think when I went there. It seems more structured. You know what I mean? That there's facilities for the people.
Yeah.
Like you said, like 80% of the population really rely on public transportation.
Yeah.
And we don't even have public transportation over here properly, like a train, like a bullet train to go from one side to another or anything like that. Like that's how I view what like certain governments or like countries do for their people.
Like I'll give an example from Turkey. Like I personally have no problem with the Turkish government. People will be like, oh, so you're a big fan of it. No, I never studied politics. I was an engineer, throughout college and everything. I never went into politics, never was a fan of it when I was younger either. So I was never educated in it. And people will tell me things that I've never heard before, which is probably common knowledge about Turkish politics. But I'll tell you this about it. Turkish politics, at the end of the day, it's very chaotic. You can agree, like you'll always find someone to argue with. You'll always find someone to argue with. It is like very much so, those like old school like news segments where it's like 4 screens and people are yelling at each other. Yeah. Turkish people die for that. They love it so much. They're like, yes,
it's
chaos.
Like drama. It's drama. They love their drama.
Like the amount of fights that go on the Turkish parliament, like fist fights, so funny, bro. There are people throwing chairs and stuff, and like sometimes I just tune in. I'm like, I just want to see some guy throw a chair at someone.
It's like
that's like WWE.
WWE. Yeah, that's. But yeah, no. Even in Nepal, I've seen. That
even
happens.
in Nepal,
they throw chairs, dude.
Yeah.
And like, I'll tell you this, like, I have no problem with Turkish politics. I don't agree with them. I don't disagree with them at the end of the day. But I'll tell you this, I've traveled around Turkey as well, like I think like 80% of it. And I'll tell you this, I've seen people from both sides of the spectrum. I've been like, oh, I hope that like, the current government falls and this happens and this. And I hope like, I have friends who are like, oh, I hope the government never falls. I hope we have them for the rest of our lives because they've been our savior and stuff like that. But like I said before, like, I think that's one of the biggest problems in the world where people just have overconfidence in topics they have nothing to do about.
Yeah.
And that's what me in politics. Like, I'm like, I haven't been educated in this. I don't know what happened. I don't know half these people. Like, why should I have like strong views?
Opinions, yeah.
Like, I have that happen with Americans a lot. Like, people are like, are you leftist or rightist? Are you... And I'm like, I'm neither. I don't care. And they're
Independent,
like,
baby.
oh, so you're supporting Trump? I'm like, I don't really care about him. He's not my friend. We don't go to like bowling or anything.
You haven't been golfing with Trump yet?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, so you hate Trump? I'm like, I don't hate anyone. I'm a peaceful guy.
Love, not war.
Like Luis. I always make this joke to Luis, and he's like, "Are you racist?" And like he makes a joke towards me. He's like, "Are you racist?" I'm like, "No, I hate everyone equally."
Yeah, that's such a New York thing to say.
Yeah, I hate
it's a New
everyone
York thing
equally.
to say.
Yeah,
It's
I hate
I
everyone
I can't be racist. I hate everybody equally.
Exactly.
There we go.
How can you be racist?
From any race, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean like no, it's a really good insight that you are a very few number of people can actually reach out to people from different countries, especially like what you say about Iran and stuff like that. I mean. Right now, it's just I want to know what's happening. We want to know. Like we were in the what was it? The episode before.
Yes, literally the episode right before. And I think I told you a little bit about this. Like we were literally just talking about what was happening in Mexico, and then our co-host basically was like comparing it to just on the historical spectrum how it lands, and then we were like, "You are not going to go to war with Iran."
Right, what's going on? He's not that dumb, but he was.
I'll tell you this, like. Do you think we'll see a war in our lifetime? Probably America, because like, dude, but I don't think wars are gonna be like we used to think it was. You remember, like when we had World War I, World War II, a bunch of soldiers just running into countries, like, oh, we took, like, oh.
You say remember as if we were there, but I've heard stories. Yeah. I've read books.
Damn, Louis, like you make me feel old, man. I met World War II veterans.
Look, when you have relatives who have been to Korea and shit, and you're like, damn, all right, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, like I remember when I was in high school. It was 2001. I was upstate Brewster, New York, when I was upstate, and I've had 3 or 4 members who were in part of World War II, and they were probably in their 80s, so and so, like they were older. And when he was telling the story about, what had happened in World War II, he was 80 years old. You would think like it wouldn't affect him, but he always broke down. He said, "Every time I tell this story, I break down and cry because I lost my brothers."
Yeah.
That was a time when I was like, you know what, war is not a good thing.
No.
Because you could be like, the whole point is the fact of the matter is that you could see someone who's 80-something years old and he still affects him to this day. You know what I mean? And, there's not many World War II veterans anymore. Most of them have passed away. And
but I've met some people like who are from both sides, actually, Ukraine and Russia, Israel and Palestine. And, dude, there's some stories they tell me and I still get goosebumps to this day because we don't know 1% of it. I remember I knew a kid back home in Turkey. He was Syrian, and he only had one arm. And he was like this handsome guy. He was in school for engineering. And he only had one arm. And I never asked him, like maybe it was like a birth defect, maybe it was something else. And I turned to him and I'm like one day I finally asked him because we got close over time. I'm like, what happened to your arm? And he was like, yeah, when I was a little kid, my house got bombed. And my arm just fell off. And I was like, and we couldn't just reattach it at the time. And I was like, oh, okay.
It's not a story you get to hear.
Yeah, I'm like, when did this happen? And he was from Syria, and this was before the war in Syria. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, there was like this big situation, this protest that happened, and there was like a bombing that happened right after it, and like to stop the people in the Syria. I was like, dude, like I've never heard of this, and he's like, of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. Why would you know about it?
Yeah.
He's like, what do you know about my culture? And that was one of the things that I was young when I heard this too. I was like, what do you know about my culture? I was like, oh. I don't know anything.
Yeah, it's the whole point of like we sitting on the other side of the world and we're like told this thing and you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
You absolutely, and I feel like that is a message that you can also bring out to a lot of people. You know what I mean? You're traveling to all these different places, and just to be able to share that knowledge with anybody, I mean, definitely should follow him. And I think the culture aspect of it is very, very important, right? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, I completely agree. And also in the sense of, it was something that I very much learned at an early age myself, because especially like in 2010 when the Venezuelan issue just started, like my issue wasn't anybody else's issue. It wasn't anyone else's news. And they just saw Venezuelan kids show up in their elementary school one day. That's all they saw. That's their only effect in their lifetime. And I quickly learned and grasped that no one, even the smartest individuals, even someone that is, super intelligent, can just grab concepts easily, can never understand a full picture concept, because you will never be able to get every single perspective of what is happening at any given moment. And that is the one thing that I feel where world leaders do have a tremendous weight on their shoulders, because they are expected to have the answers to everything and have a stance on everything and know what's right and wrong.
You can't.
And it is physically impossible. Like, there is no one. You can have scholars, historians, people that have studied and dedicated their lives to the study of the world, and you will still never get a full picture and be able to decipher what is the right and the wrong thing. And that's exactly when it comes to war, what becomes the biggest issue is who's doing the right thing and who's doing the wrong thing, because to both sides, you are the hero. There is no one fighting to be the villain. So that is 100% a perspective that I understand. And that's when you talk about a worldview, when you talk about a global perspective, that is something that a lot of travelers will organically reach, is they hear so many stories that are conflicting when you're in one country, but make sense when you're in another.
Yeah, I guess I could agree to a certain point if it's like, let's say, when you argue about, let's say, land or something like that, right? But when it comes to, I have a problem when it comes to like financial gain, like when the country goes in for resources, you know what I mean? And I can put my common sense into it. Like, for example, I'm not a fan of this war. I'm sure
the Iranian,
I feel like we should have just never fucking done anything.
Exactly.
Why the fuck are we going to war? Like, you ran on a no war campaign. 80-90% of you people, like P. Hexeth was like, I used to be a neocon, and now I'm a recovering neocon. That's what he said. And this is not even like 3-4 years ago. This is 2024, where like we should not go to war. But now he's a department war. He's going to war. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And that's where I kind of hold that accountability for those kind of people. See, the thing is, if a country wants to do something, right? If they want to dress a certain way, eat a certain way, follow another religion a certain way, let them do that. Like, who the hell cares? Is my point of view, unless they're not trying to harm other people or other like countries, then that's when we step in. But the problem is, me being American, I can't even say that to another country. Hey, don't do this, because we're the ones who are doing it.
We're the ones.
Like, I'll give an example. Like, I had this happen to me the other day at university. So I was in line getting coffee, and some guy heard me speak Turkish, and he was like, "Hey, are you Turkish?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I kind of understood what you said." I was like, "Where are you from?" And he was like, "Israel." I was like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "You don't have a problem with that?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You being Israeli? I don't think you had a choice when you were born to be where you're from. Like, maybe you can have like some views that I don't agree with, or like maybe like you're pro something that I'm against, but that doesn't mean like I have to hate you."
Exactly.
Why would I have like this hatred towards you just because you're from a certain race? There's this one thing that I love that my father always told me is like, unless someone is trying to hurt you, never hurt anyone else. And that is so true, because like, why would I want hurt against you, hate against you? Hate is such a strong feeling.
Exactly.
Such a strong feeling. Like, why would you hate something? What in life has convinced you to hate something so bad? Like, oh, I hate this. Like, why? I think like almost everything in this world is forgivable. Almost. There's a few things that like,
except for pedophiles.
That's what I was going to. I draw a line. I draw a line at children.
Yeah.
Children is my soft spot. I grew up with a little sister as well, so that's also like my soft spot. Like women and children, those are like my soft spot. But like besides that, I feel like everyone could like I can hear them out at least.
Yeah.
And if they can give me a reason, because like you're not in someone else's shoes. You're not. I've had situations happen like where I met a guy. At that time, I was volunteering, and he was going through rehabilitation. And I was like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm here because he was in a mental hospital." And I was like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "What happened?" He's like, "Yeah, I had a situation where like I broke out and just I stabbed my brother." And I was like, "You stabbed your brother?" And I could have just walked away from him, being in fear. But like something inside of me, I don't know, maybe it's the crazy side of me, maybe it's the good guy inside of me. I just turned to him. I'm like, "Why?" And he was like, "Well, he threatened to hurt my mother, and he had a knife in his hand, and he ran towards her. And apparently to stop him, he just grabbed a knife and stabbed him back." And at that point, I'm like, well, what would have I done in this situation? Could I call this guy a bad guy? Could I call him mentally insane? Could I say what this guy did is wrong? No, I could never. Because like, I'm not in his shoes. I don't know what the situation was. And I just remember just changing the topic immediately and being like, okay, cool, buddy. You know, like,
I mean, you don't wanna, you don't want to be in that kind of situation too. Has something like this, like these type of conversation, like you said, you met that guy in the coffee shop. Has that kind of happened to you in your travels?
oh, so many times. Dude, the amount of times I've met some random people and just being like flabbergasted. I remember I had a guy, I was sitting at a bar. I forgot. I think it was in Bosnia. And I was just sitting there because like I had nothing else to do. And I was just killing time until my flight. And I was just sitting there. And the guy just turns to me and he's like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Turkey." And he's like, "Oh." And he starts speaking Turkish with me. He was one of the few Bosnians. Well, not a few. A lot of Bosnians grew up with Turkish culture. So he knew Turkish and he wanted to speak. I started talking to him. And I was like, what are you doing here? And he's like, "Oh, I was thinking about killing myself today." I was like, "Whoa. Like, what do you mean?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Why?" And he started talking to me and he started crying. And I gave him a hug. And I still follow the guy. The guy's still around. He still shares. He's a tattoo artist in Bosnia right now. And like things like that just keeps me like going while traveling. I can meet anyone out there. I've met people who have like, oh, I've lost all my family. I've met people who are like extremely privileged. I've gone to every single like high private school. Their parents have bought them almost everything in life. And I've met people who are like dirt cheap. I think the craziest guy I've ever met was in Agra, India. I know I keep on going back there, but it was one of the craziest experiences. This guy, I remember he had like some old jeans on and a t-shirt, and he was sitting in a box, like up to maybe like my chest, like, and he was just sitting in it by himself. And he started speaking to me in English. I was like, "Whoa, like, you know English?" He's like, "Yeah, everyone knows English here." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool." I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you sitting in a box?" And he's like, "I live here. I live on the street." And there was a bunch of homeless people. I'm like, "What do you mean you live here?" And he's like, "Yeah, I live here." I'm like, "Well, why?" He's like, "Well, my mom was homeless, and I grew up homeless." I was like, "Where's your mom?" And he's like, "She passed away years ago." I'm like, "What do you do?" He's like, "I just live off the streets." I'm like, "Do you have a job?" He's like, "Nope." I'm like, "Is there anything I can do to help for you?" He's like, "Not really. I'm fine. I had food already today." I'm like, "Aren't you happy? Aren't you like aren't you depressed just sitting?" He's like, "No, I'm alive. Why would I be sad?" And something just clicked in me, and I was like, dude, this guy's living in a box. It's 52 degrees outside in a random slum in India. And he says, "Why wouldn't I be happy? I'm still alive." And that just clicked with me. I was like, oh my God, I'm way too privileged. Because at that point, you're like, dude, there's so much things to love in life. And this guy is just there, just living in a box. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm alive. That's fine." It was one of the most amazing things. I hope that guy's all right.
Which kind of just ties back to how we started this conversation. And whenever we talked about what's the first thing you do whenever you reach different countries, you said you'll always find a reason to smile when you travel. And I feel like that just speaks to no matter where you go, happiness looks different to different people.
Yeah, of course. Like sometimes it changes. Like one of the best nature I've ever seen was in Iceland. I never expected to fall in love with Iceland. And I have a promise to myself to go there again. And it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And like, I saw the Northern Lights. That was on my bucket list. And if it wasn't that cold, I probably would have cried in front of it. But then I also had a situation this summer. He knows I went to Thailand and I went to an elephant sanctuary. And when you go to an elephant sanctuary, it isn't like, you know, like a touristy thing. You actually have to help around the sanctuary. You got to feed them. You got to help them take a bath. You got to help clean up their poop. And there was an elephant there named Yaya. He was 6 years old, and he fell in love with me. Even though, like, the people working there were surprised. He was running up to me, hugging me. They were trying to make him play with like other people. He wouldn't let me go. He just wanted to hug me. He would constantly blow water on me when we were taking a bath. And like, it's a whole different situation. One, I see some lights in the sky. One, I'm playing with an elephant. And at the end of the day, I'm like, dude, life's beautiful at the end of the day. Like, there's always something to smile about. I've tried so many different things in this world. I've tried scorpion. I've tried spider. I try to try every local cuisine. And dude, I think almost every country has something to eat.
So my question is worst and best food. What do you? How can you
All
say?
right, now we're getting into the difficult questions.
Mike is known for like putting you on the spot.
All right. Number one, I gotta give it to Turkish food. I'm sorry for everyone else.
Okay, doesn't count. Number 2.
Doesn't count. Number 2,
Biased.
it is very close. It is in between Mexico
Oh,
and Lebanon, but I gotta give it to Lebanon.
Okay.
Lebanese food, you got the hummus, you got the falafels. My dog, when I tell you they make healthy food and good food, there's a reason why Mediterranean food is globally loved.
Mediterranean food is amazing. There used to be a place in Long Island, exit 64 or 65 on the LIE. It's right off the exit. It was this Turkish restaurant. You used to get the buttered white rice, and you either get the lamb shish or the chicken shish. Oh,
Yeah.
grilled to perfection.
I think the worst food I've ever had, I think it was voted the worst food in the whole entire world as well. It was fermented shark.
Oh, yeah.
Fermented
And it was
shark?
it's in Iceland. So
Oh, yeah.
Iceland, because it's so cold, they can't really preserve food for that long. So they would ferment their food. And in the past, this is what I was told. A lot of people have told me this is false. I've heard from locals that it's true. They actually used to pee on the shark meat because the ammonium would keep it edible over time. Now they started using normal ammonium instead of peeing on the shark meat. But like, I remember me and my friends went to a restaurant and we ordered it. We're like, hey, can we get fermented shark here? And the guy's like, you don't want it. And we're like, no, we want to try it. We want one each. And he's like, I'll give you one and you guys can share. I barely swallowed it. I have a strong stomach. I've eaten scorpion, like I said before. I've eaten sea bugs in Philippines. I could barely swallow it. I could not go for seconds.
You liked the sea bugs when you were
The sea bugs taste like
Sea bugs are actually good.
It tastes like sour cream Pringles. Hear me
Sour
out.
He told me that,
Sour cream
and I've never wanted
Pringles.
to eat a bug more than that.
Because it's sour cream
dang
Pringles.
Dude, it was one of the few times I went for seconds. I was like, oh shit, let me try something.
It's just the outer thing that looks really disgusting, but the flavor is there though.
Amazing.
Have you had it before?
Yeah, in
Really?
Malaysia. I studied in Malaysia for 3 years.
Oh, Malaysia, yeah. They're next. I tried it in the Philippines, so they're right next to each other. It was really good. Surprisingly, crocodile actually tastes really good.
I've heard it tastes like chicken.
It tastes like salty chicken. That's all it is at the end of the day.
I had it when I was in New Orleans. No, I had alligator. So that's
Oh, this
different.
might be a controversial opinion.
Love it.
Durian. So I have a lot of friends from, like I said, India, Sri Lanka, and Southeast Asia, and they love durian. They grew up on it, but I can't.
No.
The smell and the taste, it just destroys me.
Durian
bro.
is one of the most popular food in Malaysia
Right?
and
Right.
and even in other Indonesian countries. It stinks.
It's illegal to put on planes. You can't take it on a plane, a fruit, because it has such a strong smell that it's like, I remember one of my friends told me in his hotel, some guy snuck in durian and they thought there was a gas leak. So they emptied out the hotel. It is that, no, you guys think I'm joking. It's illegal to bring it on flights. Like there's signs at the airport in like Malaysia and Indonesia, do not take durians with you. But the locals love it so much that they try to still sneak it on flights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It smells
crazy.
really bad.
This guy has like amazing stories.
Yeah, man. I
He
don't
told like the whole
think
2
2
hours
hours
is
is
just
enough.
like his stories,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
These 2 guys are quiet. Actually, they talk a lot, but these 2 guys are quiet. They're just hearing your stories.
You got to watch other
But-
episodes to hear our level.
Yeah, we're gonna come again, and
This is just
Like,
part one.
this is just part 1. I
I'd
love
love
to
to be
hear
back.
more
Love to be
stories.
Yeah, no, man. Every time you go to you visit different countries,
You come back.
you got to come back and tell the stories. You should have his own like travel series.
Absolutely.
Travel with
oh
Barry.
My God.
Barris travels.
Barry travels. Travel with
Well,
Barry.
we
man.
would like to support that.
Yeah,
too.
man.
That would be
Yeah.
amazing.
Because I think like overall like when you travel like that, right? That not many people do, and when people do travel, they're not traveling where you are like speaking to locals and the backpacking aspect of it, right? you're in the nitty gritty with the locals. You're experiencing life with the locals, right? Not going to like a hotel, 3-star, 5-star hotel, and you have some, hey, sir, let me help you today, you know, or
No concierge for this guy.
yeah, exactly.
No.
And not even that, like everything's planned out, right? When we go on vacations, when you go to Cancun, like you're always in a resort, like everything's kind of planned out for you. But the way how you're living your life, I mean, clearly it is. I don't think I could do 1% of what he does. I'll tell you that, sure.
Thank you.
I think these two guys have never traveled that way. I have traveled in Malaysia a lot of times, maybe 3-4 times to different islands in Malaysia, like Penangs or different islands that like Perhentian Islands. And the way you travel, I like it's similar to mine.
Thank you.
But I cannot do it now because I am married right now, so
yes.
there are. So I would like to. Have you been
married
in
right
romantic
now, that-
destinations?
Romantic destinations? Yes, I have.
And have
actually.
you traveled the same way or different way?
No, same way. I like one
Really?
of the most like the honeymoon hotspot currently in the world is Bali.
yeah.
Yeah, it
And
is.
our friend Amir that we were talking about, he's my best friend, and I took him. And
Oh, that's so cute.
him and me were sharing a motorcycle and stuff. It was magical.
No, Bali is. I want to go back to Bali. Very cheap.
Oh,
$1 is like 14,000 their currency, bro.
What?
And Bali is actually very, very clean.
Yeah.
No
So-
plastic.
Oh, there's like a lot of stuff. Like their police is like very strict. So I think some
Yeah.
guy got caught with like drugs like a few months ago, and he got like 20 years in prison.
Yeah.
Which is
Indonesia is strict. Yeah.
it's
What?
very
Very
strict.
strict.
It's very very.
Don't do anything crazy there.
Singapore or
Oh,
Indonesia.
Singapore is I think one of
Does
those. You
Bali
can't
have
shoot one
nightlife?
in Singapore?
Yeah, Bali has nightlife. A lot of Australians go there. Do you see a lot of Australians in Bali?
because
Yeah, yeah.
surfing is really good up there.
Kiwis too. You see
The
a lot
water.
of New Zealand people.
Yeah, New Zealand too. New Zealand and Australian people are out there, and the water is just amazing. The islands or I went to Nusa Penida. You have to take like a speedboat over there, and there's still like hotels and stuff, but it's not as like much as the mainland. But crater, I think what was it? There was one island where there was a big ass hole in the middle, and there was like you could see a shipwreck, but you could walk around in a circle.
What?
It's just the way how nature like
took over.
took over that area.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unfreaking believable.
Have you
Like,
been there?
I haven't been there, but I've seen something as magical. I went to Hurghada in Egypt, which is known for its scuba diving,
Oh,
and
okay.
also Boracay in the
scuba
Philippines.
dived?
Yeah, I scuba dived. I almost drowned. I touched I touched fire coral, and apparently fire coral is one of the most painful things. It's like one of the highest pain-inducing things in the world.
Oh, okay.
And while I was scuba diving, I didn't notice, and my back touched it. And as soon as my back touched it, as a reflex, I tried to push off underwater, which made the rest of my body touch it. And have you ever seen like the cartoon balloon blow up? Like, did you guys watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with the girl?
Yeah.
that throws into a blueberry? That happened to me. I turned red, and I just went. Boop, and I
Are
started
you an
drowning.
experienced scuba diver or just novice?
No. I just at
just-
that point I newly learned how to do it.
Okay.
And they had to rescue me. And I remember just going back on the boat, just swollen up, just like choking on water. And they're like, "You're fine. Don't worry about it."
So not only are you traveling more countries than most people, you also almost exploded more times, and
Oh,
you actually
yes.
successfully exploded more times.
that's so I'm pretty sure like you have like tons of stories. And where are you headed next?
So, like I said, at 1 a.m. today, I bought a plane ticket to Costa Rica, and I bought a return ticket 12 days later from Guatemala. So currently, I'm going to fly to Costa Rica and fly back from Guatemala. I
So
have a 12-day
Costa Rica to El Salvador, you're traveling.
I'm not sure yet. I might go. I
He's
want to
say he's gonna figure
Okay,
it
at
out.
least buy a map because you might go the wrong way.
I know
and
it's
then-
good. I got in between. I got Honduras,
Honduras,
Nicaragua,
Nicaragua.
and El Salvador.
Bro's gonna
you even
like
got Berlin.
Bro's gonna try to
Yeah.
walk up to Mexico and try to
Yeah.
cross the border, and Trump's gonna be there. Build that wall. Was that an American citizen though?
I've been to Mexico before. By the way, it deserves all the love it gets. Mexico is so nice. I didn't like Cancun. Surprisingly,
Really?
as a backpacker, Cancun is known
It's
for
more
its
touristy. It's more
a
touristy.
resort place,
Yeah,
bro.
it's
You stay in hotels there. You go to Mexico City. Now that's Mexico. That's Mexico. In Mexico City, especially at night, the sketchiness, I was like, yes, this is why I came here.
Did you hear any
so
gunshots?
Like
backwards.
he lives for that.
Yeah.
thrill. Like he lives for the
Dude,
thrill.
No, this
Adrenaline?
guy finds home in homeless people. He finds safety in the sketchiness of a city.
But that's what life is with him, right? It's a reality of that we don't try to accept, and he's here like accepting it and experiencing it, and that's something that I don't think I or you or even
I was
him
about to
would
say,
be-
Sean, don't tell me this like I'm the one getting lectured.
No, I'm
all have
just,
to learn from this
I'm
guy.
I'm just accepting it, at that point. Before we end, Mexican tacos or Texas tacos?
Oh, Mexican tacos by far. It's not even a question. Not even a question. Dude,
But la banqueta, though.
I had a hole in the wall, like Mexican taco. But the first taco I tried when I went to Mexico, I went to Teotihuacan, saw the pyramids as soon as they opened up, and I found a random hole in the wall. There was an abuelita who did not speak any English. I used Google Translate to order tacos. When I'm telling you, I've never eaten anything that good in my life. I almost cried. It was that good. I tipped her $10 and she gave me a hug. She's like, she was like so surprised of the tip. I was like, you deserve more. That was like the most delicious thing. And it had cactus in it, surprisingly. That was the first time. Yeah, the first time I actually had cactus, and it was really good. It was really good.
Well, so clearly one episode is not enough to really get into Barry's travel. And, guys, we'll have your Instagram. We'll put the Instagram in the description below. Anybody that is an avid traveler, well, you can follow him on his Instagram, see his stories. I definitely will because, maybe if I need a little cheap tickets, I'm going to,
By the time this episode comes out, he's probably going to be in Honduras or Nicaragua. So if you find yourself there and are also a traveler, there we go. You got someone to hit up now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Barry, thanks for coming.
Of course, I would love to be back. I love talking to you guys.
Yeah, I know. Amazing stories, man. And Louis, thanks for this is your first, meet the guest.
Yes, this is my first meet the guest, and I do believe I did a good job with guests that I chose.
We stayed quiet because
oh.
your friend had all the stories.
He did. No, I'm a talker. You guys know this, and he knows this as well. And he's probably surprised that I didn't get to talk as much.
Huh?
But it was honestly very insightful. I got to learn a lot about you.
Thank you,
Like I didn't know you were a medical student. I didn't know what incited you to travel at first. I didn't know like all these different kind of components that make Barry. Yeah. That now not only am I learning for the first time, but also the viewers are getting to see for the first time.
And if you need to travel all the world, it's not about just trying to find meaning to your life. It's sometimes out of spite.
It's out of spite. It is definitely out of spite. I promise you, buddy, I'm going to every single country. I'm 1/3 of the way there. I love you, though.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot, Barry. So, everybody who's watching this episode, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on all our socials and follow Barry on his socials so you can keep up with him and so that he can get his story out there. So, thank you very much.